Chapter 841. At that moment, clouds suddenly appeared in the sky. Red streaks appeared in the clouds, directly enveloping the high-grade saint who had come to report information about Yi Wuyo and the others. "Ah, what's this?" the high-grade saint cried out. He was being attacked now, both his body and soul being attacked. "Quickly return to the profound mysteries realm and see if you can withstand it. This is an attack from the world source," Xian Wenxiu called out. Hearing Xian Wenxiu's call, the high-grade saint's body flashed, and he rushed out of the city lord's manor. Everything was futile. The high-grade saint had just rushed out of the city lord's manor when he could no longer move. This was because the red streaks were attacking him from all directions. In just a short moment, this high-grade saint was killed by the power of the red streaks. Xian Wenxiu sighed, and Shang Luo also shook his head helplessly. They had interfered with the war and broken the saint's contract, so the Nine Regions world source had created a destructive power that directly killed them. The Nine Regions world's laws are incomplete, and their ability to resist other worlds is weak. However, their offensive power is still top-notch. In the future, saints should not participate in wars anymore, Xian Wenxiu said. Seeing a high-grade saint being killed by the Nine Regions world's laws with his own eyes, Xian Wenxiu was somewhat moved. He definitely could not ignore or break the saint's contract. The open cloud saint sacrificed himself for the war between worlds. This is something that no one wants to see, so we have to make the open cloud saint's death worthwhile. Invite Grandmaster Gu over, Jun Xuanji ordered. Grandmaster Gu was the most powerful formation grandmaster in the profound mysteries realm. Now, Jun Xuanji was going to use the same method as Night Sorrow, an ambush. They had to ambush him. A short moment later, an elder in linen robes came to the city lord's manor. He was the profound mysteries realm's formation grandmaster, Gu Tianyu. Grandmaster Gu, the Nine Regions world has found the location of the spatial tunnel between the Nine Regions world and the profound mysteries realm. They plan to pull the battle line to the profound mysteries realm, so I want to ask Grandmaster to set up a formation at the spatial tunnel and kill all of their elites, Jun Xuanji said to Gu Tianyu. Hearing Jun Xuanji's words, Gu Tianyu's dull eyes lit up. "Saintess, don't worry. I'll set up a destruction formation and seal the spatial tunnel entrance. Grandmaster Gu, their people know how to cut space. So, when you set up the array formation, put more effort into sealing space," Jun Xuanji said to Gu Tianyu. Then add a spatial imprisonment formation, Gu Tianyu said. Night Sorrow was cultivating at the edge of the realm sea. Yi Wuyo had already arranged for the invincible paragons to fight, Yun Tianlong, Shui Wuling, Bei Tianga, and Night God Kuang. Night Sorrow, I've called over 4 unrivaled sovereigns for the people you want to fight. Including me, they're about half as strong as the unrivaled sovereigns, said Yi Wuyo. Father, you can't go. After I leave, we still need someone to guard this place. At the very least, they can block Jun Xuanji. Also, we don't need so many people. Just 2 seniors will be enough. We'll go kill and burn. Saints can't participate, so who can stop us? Most of their forces are in the Nine Regions world, said Night Sorrow. That's fine. Then Prince Wu, you can stay behind. This king and brother Shui can come with you, said Yun Tianlong. Then it's decided. Seniors, come with me. I'll bring the god-slaying squad to have some fun in the profound mysteries realm. However, it won't be easy to pass through the spatial tunnel. They'll definitely have an ambush. When the time comes, Overlord Yun and Senior Shui will have to suffer and enter my spatial treasure. Night Sorrow looked at Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling. He was giving them a warning. If they weren't willing to enter the space-time pagoda, it would be troublesome. If you have something to say, just say it directly. This king will listen to orders. There's no need to beat around the bush, said Yun Tianlong. I'll also listen to orders. As long as it's an order from you, the commander of the Nine Regions world, I'll definitely carry it out, laughed Shui Wuling. Then it's decided. Now the biggest problem is passing through the spatial tunnel. If I'm not wrong, there's a huge hole waiting for us there, said Night Sorrow after pouring tea for everyone. Are you sure? Asked the Grand Elder. Because of the saint contract, their saints can't fight, but they can still stand guard. If I'm not wrong, when my father, King Yun, and Senior Shui went to investigate, their saints had already discovered us. With such an opportunity, they definitely wouldn't set up a trap for us, said Knight Sorrow with a smile. Choosing you as the commander of the 9 regions world should be a blessing for us. But even if there's an ambush, there's still a chance, said the Grand Elder. It's not a chance, it's 100%. Because I'm Jun Xuanji, I'll definitely do it, said Knight Sorrow. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. At this moment, everyone nodded because Yi Shang's judgment was reasonable. Then how are you going to get there? Long Xiansheng and the others had also arrived at Knight Sorrow's tent. I know a little about arrays. If I discover that they've set up a large array, I'll use spatial rend and directly travel through the chaotic flow of space. That way, I won't give them a chance to use their array. It's impossible for them to set up an array in the chaotic flow of space, said Knight Sorrow with a smile. That's a good idea. Long Xiansheng nodded. He knew that Knight Sorrow had already made plans. When are we leaving? Asked Xiaolanjun. The sooner, the better. Ren Tianji is heavily injured, and Jun Xuanji won't attack for a while. If we're late, they might attack at any time. At that time, I won't be here, and it won't be easy to defend, said Knight Sorrow. After chatting with the seniors for a while, Knight Sorrow arrived at the God-slaying squad's camp and clapped his hands. As Knight Sorrow clapped, the members of the God-slaying squad gathered. Every time Knight Sorrow clapped his hands, it was the order to gather. Everyone has been cultivating bitterly for a while. There's no point in just sharpening our blades without fighting. There'll be a big battle soon. Everyone, come with me. Nan Liyue, go get some supplies from City Lord Taishu and distribute them to everyone. Tomorrow, we'll gather and fight, ordered Knight Sorrow. Marshal Uncle 13, is it murder, arson, or robbery? Mushizhuang pulled Tang Tian and Chu Ning to Knight Sorrow's side. We can't even beat the 3 of you. Work harder. Look, our God-slaying team has venerables and peak tier 5 venerables everywhere. You guys are still at tier 4, Knight Sorrow said as he looked at the 3 of them. Ma Shizhuang, Tang Tian, and Chu Ning nodded. They knew that they couldn't keep up with the pace with their 4th rank cultivation, but there was nothing they could do. Chapter 842. Okay, don't feel pressured. Just don't slack off, Knight Sorrow said to the 3 of them. After giving his instructions, Yi Shang returned to his tent and chatted with his father and mother over tea. After resting for a while, Knight Sorrow came out of his tent and went to the camp of the God-slaying squad. Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei, and Aoi were also there. Everyone, don't resist. Enter the pagoda. I'll let you out when you need to fight. Knight Sorrow waved his right hand and the pagoda returned to its 3-story height. Then, the door opened. Then, the members of the God-slaying squad all entered the pagoda. After seeing the members of the God-slaying team enter the pagoda of time and space, Yi Shan looked at Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling, who were behind him. Okay, Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling nodded. Knight Sorrow kept Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling, who didn't resist, into the pagoda. After keeping the pagoda, Knight Sorrow nodded to Long Xiansheng and the other saints. Then, he looked at Yi Wuyo and Grand Uncle. Father and Grand Uncle City Lord will handle the rest. Stabilize this place first. I'll open up the situation in the Profound Mysteries realm. Then, the direction of the war will change, Knight Sorrow said. Be careful. Safety comes first, Yi Wuyo reminded Knight Sorrow. Yu Qing's eyes were filled with worry. I'll be careful, Knight Sorrow said. Then, he nodded to Wu Lingfei who rushed over. Also, they've set up a defense line at the border of the realm's sea of the Western Nether Territory. It's slightly weaker in the west, Yi Wuyo said to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow nodded. Then, he cupped his fists to the others. Then, he took out a spaceship and drove it away from the border. Riding a spaceship alone, how extravagant, Sky Underworld Saint muttered. What's wrong with being a little extravagant now? He needs to cultivate and maintain his peak condition. Long Xianxing said. In the 9 domains world, only Long Xianxing would not give any face to Heavenly Underworld Saint. What you said makes sense, but don't be so sharp, okay? Heavenly Underworld Saint looked at Long Xianxing with disdain and returned to his tent. Night Sorrow was in the airship, meditating and cultivating his foundation while strengthening his comprehension of the power of laws and increasing his soul force. The realm sea was 800,000 miles wide. Even the fastest flying ship, Night Sorrow, took nearly a day to arrive. Not far from the edge of the realm sea, Night Sorrow kept his flying ship, propped up his protective barrier, and approached the edge of the realm sea. He knew that the troops of the Profound Mysteries realm had built a defensive line, but their energy was focused on attacking, so the defensive line was not very strong. Besides, Night Sorrow believed that with his speed, he would have no problem breaking through the defensive line. Most importantly, Night Sorrow was not afraid of fighting. As long as there was an obstruction, he would dare to kill. After reaching the shore of the realm sea, Night Sorrow released his soul force and found where the troops of the Profound Mysteries realm were stationed. He went around them and entered the depths of the western nether region. After traveling for a while, Night Sorrow let Xue Wuling and Yun Tianlong out of the spacetime pagoda because they knew where the spatial passageway was. The 3 of them flew. While flying, Yun Tianlong also explained the current situation of the western nether region. Currently, the Profound Mysteries realm only managed a few large cities in the western nether region. They did not care about the smaller cities, and they did not even have any troops stationed there. The main reason was that they were helpless against Yi Wuyo and the others. Each time Yi Wuyo's group of 3 crossed the realm sea, they would fly through the gaps between the spatial laws of the realm sea and the spatial laws of the air. Adding on the fact that the Profound Mysteries realm's defensive line had yet to be completed, no one noticed them entering the western nether region. It won't be so easy next time. When I came here, I sensed that there were quite a few troops from the Profound Mysteries realm at the edge of the realm sea. Once we get entangled, their experts will arrive, said Night Sorrow. Under Yun Tianlong and Xue Wuling's lead, the 3 of them traveled at full speed for 6 days before arriving at the Nether Mountain Range. That's not right. Last time we came here, the patrols were mostly venerables. There were even invincible venerables leading the patrols. This time, they're all at the 5th rank, said Yun Tianlong. This is a trap. They're afraid that we won't be able to enter if they send high-level patrols, and they'll scare us away. But they're also afraid that we'll be alerted, so they sent 5th rank patrols, said Night Sorrow with a smile. The new GS is the fastest G's coolest. That makes sense. Then how should we deal with them? I think this will be a terrifying trap, said Yun Tianlong. Let's get a bit closer. Their patrols won't be able to discover us. When the time comes, I'll enter chaotic space and charge straight through. We won't get entangled with them, said Night Sorrow. Yun Tianlong and Xue Wuling then entered the spacetime pagoda. That was because Night Sorrow would have to deal with the ambush. They wouldn't be able to help him. With the reincarnation spear in hand, Yi Shang quietly approached the entrance of the spatial passageway. Relying on his soul power to investigate, it was easy for Yi Shang to avoid the patrol team formed by rank 5 cultivators. When he was still 30 li away from the spatial passageway, Yi Shang stopped. Night Sorrow saw traces of a formation. The space and energy in front of them weren't flowing naturally. In other words, it was a sign that someone was interfering with them. Smiling, Night Sorrow used spatial rend and stealthily entered the spatial channel, entering chaotic space. With the power of laws protecting him, the spatial storms in the spatial channel couldn't approach or threaten Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow traveled through the chaotic space at a speed similar to the 9 regions world. As he moved forward, Night Sorrow narrowed his eyes. He could feel that the spatial barrier had changed. It became thicker and tougher. This made him understand that the space had been strengthened. This meant that regardless of whether it was in chaotic space or the 9 regions world, it would be difficult to break through space. This was a method targeted at him and Yiwuyo. Night Sorrow traveled through the spatial turbulence and quickly neared the entrance of the spatial tunnel. This area was rather complicated. It was the border between the 9 zones world, the spatial tunnel, and the spatial turbulence. However, Night Sorrow had already passed the area where the other party had set up an ambush. Night Sorrow used spatial rend and cut open the spatial barrier. Then, he cut the space in the spatial channel again. It was equivalent to using spatial rend twice in a row. After using spatial rend, Night Sorrow's body flashed out of the chaotic space of the 9 regions world. Then, he entered the spatial channel and the spatial channel. Finally, he smoothed out the spatial fluctuations. All of this happened in an instant. Night Sorrow's actions were fast, but the energy fluctuations still attracted some people's attention. 5 to 6 invincible venerables appeared near the spatial channel at the same time. After checking around, they didn't find anything. They were very puzzled. Don't worry. With the spatial channel as the base, I'll set up a circular formation. The surrounding 15 kilometers will be enveloped by the formation. As long as someone comes, we'll know, Gu Tianyu said confidently. After using his spiritual strength to check the outside, Night Sorrow traveled forward in the chaotic space and headed toward the profound mysteries realm. Chapter 843. A moment later, Night Sorrow charged through the spatial passageway. However, a spatial barrier appeared in front of him. It was the spatial barrier of the profound mysteries realm. Night Sorrow once again used the spatial rift and entered the spatial turbulence of the profound mysteries realm. After probing, Night Sorrow discovered that the profound mysteries realm was indeed ruthless. They had set up array formations on both sides of the spatial passageway and had invincible supremacies guarding them. Although the power of his bloodline was somewhat depleted, Night Sorrow had the Nihility Law and the Nihility Protective Barrier to protect him. Thus, he had no problem traveling through the spatial turbulence. After traveling for 200 miles in the spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow used the spatial rift and exited the spatial turbulence. After exiting the spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow's body flashed and he entered the 60th floor of the Spacetime Pagoda to recover. Now that he was in the profound mysteries realm, which was his opponent's territory, Night Sorrow knew that it was important to maintain his peak combat strength at all times. During this period, he had not consumed much, but more than half of his bloodline power had been consumed. An hour later, Night Sorrow had recovered to his peak state. After drinking a mouthful of wine, Night Sorrow exited the Spacetime Pagoda and brought Yun Tianlong and Xue Wuling out. Night Sorrow wanted to listen to Yun Tianlong and Xue Wuling's suggestions. After all, their experience was not something he could compare to. We need information. We need to know more about the profound mysteries realm. Also, we need a map. That way, we can do whatever we want, Yun Tianlong said after pondering for a moment. Then let's find a city to settle down in first. Fortunately, we are the same as the humans in the profound mysteries realm. We don't have to worry about being exposed. Night Sorrow nodded. After 2 days, Night Sorrow and the other 2 arrived at the nearest city to the spatial passageway in the profound mysteries realm, Three Sun City. After entering the city, Night Sorrow and the other 2 easily bought a world map of the profound mysteries realm. They also bought some miscellaneous books and anecdotes. Then, the 3 of them entered a tea house. As they drank tea, they studied the map. After studying the map, Night Sorrow's group of 3 began to read the miscellaneous books. As they read, Night Sorrow's group gained a better understanding of the profound mysteries realm. In the profound mysteries realm, the strongest and most influential sect was the Profound Mysteries Pavilion. The Profound Pavilion had an extraordinary status in the Profound Mysteries realm. It never interfered with the struggles of the clans and sections. However, it commanded all the forces. If any force disobeyed the Profound Pavilion's orders, it would be obliterated and cease to exist in the Profound Mysteries realm. The person in charge of the Profound Pavilion was either the Holy Son or the Holy Daughter. I didn't expect it to be like this. I think that woman called Jun Xuanji must be the Holy Maiden of the Profound Pavilion. That's why she was able to command the heroes of the Profound Mysteries realm, said Shui Wuling. That should be the case. The profound pavilion is very powerful and can command all the forces. That's why they can unite all the cultivators in the profound mysteries realm, Knight Sorrow said as he sipped his tea. The profound mysteries royal city is the #1 city. The profound pavilion's headquarters is in the profound mysteries mountain. That's their lair. However, they must have many experts. We might not be able to take them down, said Yun Tianlong. Don't worry. Saints can't participate in the battle. Most of the invincible honorables have been transferred to the 9 domains world. We have nothing to worry about. Let's attack the profound mysteries mountain and destroy the profound pavilion's lair, said Knight Sorrow. We'll listen to you. We haven't even started killing yet, but I can already feel my blood boiling, said Shui Wuling with a smile. If we can fight, we'll fight. If we exhaust ourselves, we'll run. It's not that difficult. Besides, they'll only feel pain when their important places are destroyed. Only then will it be effective, said Knight Sorrow. Then, Knight Sorrow, Yun Tianlong, and Shui Wuling arrived at the teleportation array in the Three Suns City and began the teleportation. Free reading for a long time, 9 novels after a few teleportations, the 3 of them arrived at the central region of the Profound Mysteries realm, the Profound Mysteries Royal City. After finding an inn to stay in, Knight Sorrow entered the Pagoda of Time and Space. He transferred Shui Wuling and Yun Tianlong inside as well. He needed to make some tactical arrangements. We'll fight however you want, said Yun Tianlong. He believed in Knight Sorrow's plans and tactics. They had been tested in battle. Everyone has kerosene and poison, right? When the battle starts, everyone starts burning and killing. Remember, don't touch those without cultivation, especially the children. War has nothing to do with children, said Knight Sorrow to the god-slaying team. After the group nodded, Knight Sorrow looked at Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling. Their invincible honorables and peak honorables are probably in the western nether region of the 9 domains world. Therefore, no matter which force it is, there won't be more than 3 experts. When the battle starts, the 3 of us will restrain and kill the enemy's experts. We can't let the experts pose a threat to the god-slaying team. All right. Their saints won't dare to make a move. The 3 of us will hold off their top experts. There won't be any problems. Shui Wuling nodded. The god-slaying team is in charge of destruction and killing their cultivators. The other thing is resources. Since they dare to snatch the resources of our 9-domain world, we'll move the resources of the Profound Mysteries realm back to our 9-domain world, Yishan said to the members of the god-slaying team. Yes, sir. The god-slaying team members replied to Knight Sorrow by tapping on their breastplates. Tonight, we'll destroy the Profound Pavilion's lair, Profound Mountain. We'll burn down their mountain and rob them of their resources, said Knight Sorrow. After resting for the night, Knight Sorrow put on the Night Moon King battle armor and transferred Tianyu out of the Pagoda of Time and Space. He rode on Tianyu and rushed toward Profound Mountain. The distance between Profound Imperial City and Profound Mountain wasn't very far. It was only a few thousand miles. When they arrived at Profound Mountain's entrance, Knight Sorrow blasted the signboard with the words, Profound Pavilion, into pieces with a single spear strike. Then, Knight Sorrow brandished his reincarnation spear and killed the Profound Pavilion disciples guarding the mountain gate with a few spear rays. Tianyu flew at a low altitude. His sharp claws and wings slashed out sharp blades, killing the Profound Pavilion disciples who tried to stop them and warn them. Profound Mountain was very big. It took Tianyu 15 minutes to reach the Profound Pavilion's main hall as he flew at top speed. Following the warning of the enemy's attack, the plaza of the Profound Pavilion's main hall was filled with disciples of the Profound Pavilion. However, the leader was only a peak venerable, and there was also an old man with snow-white hair and a beard that Yi Shang couldn't see through. Knight Sorrow knew that the old man was a saint, but he didn't care. Who are you? How dare you cause trouble in the Profound Pavilion's holy land? The old man shouted at Knight Sorrow, who was standing on Tianyu's back. Knight Sorrow of the 9 Regions World. This is a war between the 9 Regions World and the Profound Mysteries Realm. Do you dare to interfere? Night Sorrow waved his reincarnation spear and roared. The old man glanced at Night Sorrow, then at the Profound Pavilion's troops. He didn't say anything. Profound Pavilion is now a war zone. If you dare to interfere, you know the result. Also, you can't take away any of the resources here. Otherwise, you'll be interfering in the war, Night Sorrow snorted coldly. The old man glared fiercely at Night Sorrow, then retreated. 2 days ago, a high-level saint had interfered in the war and was killed by the world's laws. He didn't want to become the second, so he could only leave the war zone. As the Profound Pavilion's disciples charged forward, Night Sorrow waved his left hand and released the people he'd brought with him. According to the plan, kill all the core members of the Profound Pavilion. Didn't they want to start a war? Then kill them. With a roar, Night Sorrow soared into the air and charged at the Peak Venerable. Right now, there were only 3 people who could threaten the safety of the god-slaying team. If Night Sorrow could deal with one, Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling would easily deal with the rest. Chapter 844. Night Sorrow's target was a Peak Venerable. This Peak Venerable was the Vice Pavilion Lord of the Mysterious Pavilion, Yu Heng. The Profound Pavilion didn't have a Pavilion Master, only a Holy Maiden and a Holy Son. Currently, aside from the Holy Maiden, Jun Xuanji, and the Saint-level Grand Elders, Yu Heng's status and position were the highest in the Profound Pavilion. Hence, he stayed here to guard the Profound Pavilion. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear stabbed over. Yu Heng waved his blade and slashed at Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. In Yu Heng's eyes, Night Sorrow and he were both level 9 venerables. Night Sorrow had just become a level 9 venerable, while he was at the peak of level 9. He wouldn't be at a disadvantage if he faced Night Sorrow head-on. Bang! Following a loud explosion, Yu Heng was sent flying by Night Sorrow's spear. His feet left 2 deep grooves in the ground. Night Sorrow stomped with his right foot, causing the hard ground of the plaza to crack. Some of the disciples of the mysterious pavilion who were rushing toward Night Sorrow were sent flying. At this moment, Night Sorrow soared into the sky and caught up with Yu Heng in a flash. Once again, he stabbed his reincarnation spear at Yu Heng. Night Sorrow had unleashed the power of the law of nothingness in this spear strike, as well as the nothingness true energy extreme kill. Yu Heng's expression changed drastically. He couldn't dodge in time and could only swing his blade again. Without a sound or breath, Yi Shang's reincarnation spear clashed with Yu Heng's battle saber without any sound. Yu Heng's battle saber was broken by Yi Shang's reincarnation spear, and the spear light of the reincarnation spear pierced into Yu Heng's chest. Yu Heng spat out blood and retreated. His eyes were filled with shock. Night Sorrow was too strong. He couldn't fight against him at all. Night Sorrow wouldn't give Yu Heng a chance to escape. He used his protective energy shield to cut forward, and the reincarnation spear pierced Yu Heng's chest. Then, his vital energy exploded, breaking all of Yu Heng's meridians and dantian. Yu Heng grabbed the shaft of Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. His eyes were filled with confusion and bewilderment. He was a peak 9th level venerable, but he was killed by Night Sorrow, an early 9th level venerable, in 3 moves. After taking Yu Heng's storage ring, Night Sorrow brandished his reincarnation spear and started to hunt down the other opponents from the mysterious pavilion who were mid-level venerable ones and above. The area covered by the battle grew larger and larger, mainly because some of the disciples of the Profound Pavilion had fled, and the members of the god-slaying team chased after them. An hour later, the battle ended. Nan Liue and Yun Huang led their men to harvest the spoils of war. Liang Yu, Ling Long, Ho Jian, and the others held torches and were about to start a fire. Don't go too far. The white-haired saint reappeared in the plaza of the Profound Pavilion, glaring at Night Sorrow with murderous intent. You're the one who wanted to attack the 9 regions world. Now you're telling me not to go too far. Brothers, burn this place down. We still need to sweep the various branches of the Profound Pavilion. Night Sorrow didn't care about the saint's words. The white-haired old man was so angry that his body trembled, but he didn't dare to attack. If he did, he would be interfering in the war. Even though he was from the Profound Mysteries realm, the origin of the Profound Mysteries realm wouldn't let him off if he went against the Heavenly Tao Oath. The Profound Pavilion's main hall, which had been passed down for countless years, had been plundered clean by the god-slaying team and turned into a ball of raging flames. Get on your mounts and sweep all the halls of the Profound Pavilion. Night Sorrow roared and leaped onto the back of Tianyu, who had come to pick him up, and flew toward the other peaks of the Profound Pavilion. Aside from the main peak, there were 11 other peaks in the Medicine Valley. The Profound Pavilion was the same, and there were many other pavilions and halls. After a long time, the Profound Pavilion was destroyed without the unrivaled venerables around, and the saints didn't dare to attack. All that was left were broken beams and tiles that were still burning. Night Sorrow and the others left after robbing a large amount of resources. Night Sorrow was very cautious. After leaving for a distance, he put everyone into the space-time pagoda and then entered the turbulent space. After traveling for hundreds of miles and making sure that no one could follow them, he left the spatial crack and entered the space-time pagoda. Everyone, pay attention to your recovery. We need to destroy the Profound Mysteries realm's Profound Mysteries Imperial City before they can react. We need to deal the greatest damage to them, Yishan said as he looked at the excited members of the god-slaying squad. Captain, this is a war between worlds. It's not appropriate for me to keep the resources. These 3 storage rings contain the spoils of the war. The Profound Pavilion is really rich. Nan Liue took out 3 storage rings and handed them to Night Sorrow. After thinking for a moment, Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that the war resources belonged to the 9 Domains world, so it wasn't appropriate for the god-slaying team to keep them. He looked at Yun Tianlong. Don't look at me. I came out to fight with you. I don't care about anything else. Yun Tianlong shook his head. Don't look at me either. I came out with you to kill, haha. Shui Wuling laughed. Then we'll talk about it when we get back. Right now, let's focus on recovering. We have to race against time. We have to attack their core city, the Profound Mysteries Imperial City, as soon as possible. Then we'll attack the other sects, said Night Sorrow. Everyone nodded. Yishan was discussing and asking for everyone's opinion, but at this moment, everyone treated Yishan's words as an order. Once the news spreads, the Profound Mysteries realm troops stationed in the Western Nether region will return to reinforce us. The pressure on the 3 origin regions' defense line will be relieved, said Shui Wuling. Shui Wuling said. He knew that destroying Xianji Pavilion would be the turning point of this War of the Worlds. Right now, the Profound Mysteries realm was in a passive position. The 9 Domains world could resist the invasion of the Profound Mysteries realm in the 3 origin region, but the Profound Mysteries realm couldn't. They would have to face the attacks of the 9 Domains world's troops. Most importantly, no one below the Saint realm in the Profound Mysteries realm could fight against Night Sorrow. This was also the 9 Domains world's advantage in having experts below the Saint realm. This advantage wasn't something the Profound Mysteries realm could equalize. After resting for 2 hours, everyone was back in peak condition. Night Sorrow told them their next tactic. They would first control the Profound Mysteries Imperial City's transportation formation. They couldn't let the Profound Mysteries realm's cultivators come to reinforce them. Night Sorrow, it's going to be difficult this time. We've already seen the Profound Mysteries Imperial City. It's bigger than any of the 9 Domains royal cities, and there are a lot of cultivators there. If it turns into a war of attrition, it won't be fun. Shui Wuling looked at Night Sorrow. Cool K for a long time free of charge P reading /G novel. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that the safety of himself, Yun Tianlong, and Shui Wuling was not a problem. However, the god-slaying squad was not. Once they were exhausted, they would be killed. Night Sorrow did not want to see that happen. After making his decision, Night Sorrow exited the Spacetime Pagoda and flew towards Profound Secret's royal city. When he arrived at Profound Secret's Imperial City, Night Sorrow saw a scene of panic. The news of Profound Secret's pavilion's destruction had already spread. This had a huge impact on the Profound Secrets realm. Profound Secrets Pavilion could be said to be the faith of all cultivators in the Profound Secrets realm. How serious was the destruction of their faith? Knight Sorrow rushed to the vicinity of the teleportation formation. With a wave of his reincarnation spear, he killed the two mid-level supremacies guarding the teleportation formation. Knight Sorrow controlled the power of rule and could easily kill a mid-level venerable. Following which, Knight Sorrow removed the teleportation crystal from the teleportation array and teleported everyone out of the space-time pagoda. Chapter 845. Knight Sorrow, Yun Tianlong, and Xue Wuling led the god-slaying team towards Profound Secrets Imperial City Lord's residence. They wanted to destroy the City Lord's residence first. That had symbolic meaning. While Yi Shang and the others were flying towards the Profound Secrets Imperial City Lord's mansion, a man was reporting about the destruction of the Profound Secrets Pavilion in the 9 regions world's western nether region's East Cloud City. How did this happen? When did they get there? Isn't there an annihilation formation at the spatial tunnel entrance? Aren't there guards on both sides? Xian Wenxiu grabbed the man's collar and roared. Grand Elder, I'm not sure. Vice Pavilion Master Yu was killed, and the Profound Secrets Palace and 7 branch palaces were all burned down, the man continued to explain. We have to go back as quickly as we can. Saints can't interfere in the war. Our invincible venerables and peak venerables are all here. The Profound Secrets realm doesn't have many experts, so we can't stop their attacks, Shang Luo said somewhat anxiously. We saints can't interfere in the war. The Open Cloud Saint's death is the result of interfering in the war. Hurry up, Xian Wenxiu said through gritted teeth. He was the Grand Elder of the Profound Secrets Pavilion, so he had to bear a large part of the responsibility. Jun Xuanji's expression was ashen. How did this happen? We clearly set up a killing trap at the spatial tunnel entrance that could have heavily injured them. Why didn't it work? Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation, let's not talk about that for now. Right now, we need to resolve the crisis, said Xian Wenxiu. Jun Xuanji nodded helplessly. She knew she couldn't attack because both Xian Wenxiu and Shang Luo cared about the Profound Secrets Realm's foundation. They wouldn't allow her to ignore the Profound Secrets Realm and fight against the 9 regions world. The high-level cultivators would go back to save the situation, while the low-level cultivators would be killed if they stayed. So, they had to retreat. Jun Xuanji gave the order to retreat. Arriving at the spatial tunnel entrance, Jun Xuanji arranged for Ren Tianji, who had recovered his strength, to stand guard. Then, he led the others to teleport towards Profound Secrets Imperial City. They were just one more teleportation away from the Profound Secrets Imperial City. Jun Xuanji and the others couldn't teleport because all the teleportation crystals in Profound Secrets Imperial City's teleportation formation had been taken away by Knight Sorrow. It would take a long time to fly hundreds of thousands of miles. Damn it. Even Profound Secrets Imperial City is under attack. Being unable to teleport proved that there was a problem with the transmission array. How could Xian Wenxiu not analyze that there was a problem with Profound Secrets Imperial City? Knight Sorrow's group killed along the way, all the way until they reached the Profound Secret City Lord Manor. At that moment, quite a number of people came out from the City Lord's mansion. Leading them was an old man in brocade robes. The old man's battle intent was very strong. Originally, I didn't want to participate in the war between the 9 Domains world and the Xuanji realm. But since you came, I had to fight. This Xuanji Imperial City belongs to the Jun family. If you touch Xuanji Imperial City, you will fight to the death with my Jun family. The old man took out a 4-foot-long sword and said to Knight Sorrow and the others. The most influential force in the Profound Mysteries realm was the Profound Pavilion, the largest sect was the Profound Heaven Sword sect, and the most famous and powerful family was the Jun family. Jun Xuanji came from the Jun family of the Profound Secrets Imperial City Lord's estate. This old man was the head of the Jun family and the City Lord of Profound Secrets Imperial City, Jun Tianya. This is a war between 2 worlds. If your profound mysteries realm attacks, then it's normal for us to attack back. No one is innocent. There is only victory and defeat. Knight Sorrow waved his reincarnation spear. Then come. Jun Tianya waved his sword and slashed at Knight Sorrow. Seeing Jun Tianya attack, Knight Sorrow activated his law energy to protect himself. Following that, the reincarnation spear also violently attacked. Knight Sorrow normally didn't use his law energy to protect himself. However, Jun Tianya was very strong and could pose a threat to him. Peak Venerables and Unrivaled Venerables were indistinguishable when they weren't fighting. They were both peak 9th rank Venerables. The only difference was their combat strength, and that was only when they fought. Jun Tianya waved his sword. The sword chi he released had 3 kinds of law energy coiled around it. Knight Sorrow was also suppressed by the law energy, which was why he used his law energy to counterattack. He knew that Jun Tianya wasn't a peak venerable but a half-saint. After activating his law energy to protect himself, Knight Sorrow was no longer suppressed by Jun Tianya. The void true chi on the reincarnation spear collided with Jun Tianxia's 3-attribute energy. In terms of attribute energy research, Jun Tianya was stronger. However, no matter how deep his attribute energy research was, it was useless against the void true chi. It was completely neutralized. Following an explosion, Yishang retreated 2 steps, but Jun Tianya retreated even further. This was the result of Yishang's strong body and tyrannical strength. The Jun family was very strong. Other than Jun Tianya, there was another peak venerable. However, Yun Tianlong blocked him. Xue Wuling's speed was astonishing. She directly blocked the 2 high-rank venerables. She had no choice but to block them. High-rank venerables were harmful to the god-slaying squad. The battle was very intense. With someone blocking the peak venerables and high-rank venerables, the god-slaying squad was invincible. They started to kill crazily. Knight Sorrow suppressed Jun Tianya. However, it was impossible for him to end the battle quickly. Yun Tianlong's attack was ferocious, but the opponent was also very strong. This situation made Knight Sorrow a little anxious. The battle here was very loud. There were many cultivators in Xuanji Imperial City. If the battle couldn't end quickly, it would be troublesome. While Knight Sorrow was anxious, Xue Wuling made an achievement. She killed a high-rank venerable and then suppressed the last high-rank venerable. Victory was only a matter of time. Knight Sorrow was relieved. As long as there was one more invincible venerable, the situation would be under control. After calming down, Knight Sorrow started to fight with Jun Tianya. In order to end the battle quickly, Knight Sorrow used the law of nothingness to suppress Jun Tianya. The reincarnation spear violently bombarded him. At the same time, he was ready to use the soul-extinguishing slash. During this period of time, Knight Sorrow's cultivation had been rapidly increasing. Although he didn't deliberately cultivate, the soul-extinguishing slash's crescent blade in Knight Sorrow's spirit sea became more and more condensed. Now, Knight Sorrow was looking for an opportunity to kill Jun Tianya. Yun Tianlong was very annoyed. His opponent's cultivation was clearly inferior to his, but he was like a loach. He just didn't want to fight with him. Just as Yun Tianlong was about to use a large-scale attack, a sword light flashed. Yun Tianlong's opponent's protective energy shield was torn apart. His body was cut open by the sword chi. Xue Wuling had casually attacked this peak venerable when she was chasing after her opponent. "You go. Leave this one to me." Xue Wuling shouted and took over Yun Tianlong. Yun Tianlong nodded and went to chase after Xue Wuling's opponent. Yun Tianlong and Xue Wuling were 2 extremes. Yun Tianlong's attack was powerful, but speed was not his forte. Xue Wuling's speed was invincible, but the strength of her attack was average. Now that the opponent was changed, the situation would change. Chapter 846. Jun Tianya was very strong. If Knight Sorrow wasn't here, he wouldn't have a problem fighting Yun Tianlong or Xue Wuling because he had comprehended 3 types of laws. However, Night Sorrow's law of nothingness was too overbearing, completely suppressing his advantage. He couldn't contend against Night Sorrow's power and the tyranny of nothingness' true energy, so he was suppressed to the point of being forced to retreat. After blasting Junetinya back again, Night Sorrow used the soul-extinguishing slash because Junetinya's true energy was unstable at this time and his defense was weak. As Night Sorrow released the soul-extinguishing slash, a deep purple crescent blade streaked across the air, passing through Junetinya's protective chi shield and cutting towards his spirit sea. Junetinya's expression changed. His soul power surged out to block Night Sorrow's soul-extinguishing slash. At this time, Night Sorrow, who had used the Void Extreme Slash, rushed in front of Junetinya and pierced his reincarnation spear towards Junetinya's chest. Junetinya, who was defending his spirit sea with all his strength, could only wave his sword to block Night Sorrow's spear. As the two weapons collided, a purple halo erupted from the tip of Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. The halo directly annihilated the part where Junetinya's sword and Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear clashed. After breaking Junetinya's weapon, Night Sorrow's right hand shook. The spear light burst out and directly broke Junetinya's protective chi shield, rushing into Junetinya's body and blasting him away. When the body was attacked, the soul power was naturally affected. Night Sorrow's soul-extinguishing slash broke through Junetinya's spirit sea defense and directly slashed into his spirit sea. When his spirit sea was attacked, Junetinya was like a wooden man standing there foolishly. Night Sorrow's spear pierced into his dantian and then shattered it. Night Sorrow then pierced Junetinya's spirit sea with another spear, completely killing him. After taking Junetinya's storage ring and broken sword, Night Sorrow joined the other battle groups. At the same time, he gave the order to burn down the city lord's mansion and rob it. With the support of Night Sorrow, Yun Tianlong, and Shui Wuling, who were all below the saint stage, the god-slaying team had no pressure in the battle. They carried out Night Sorrow's orders directly. Night Sorrow, it's not a big problem. There are many people here, but there aren't many high-level venerables, Yun Tianlong said. This time, we caught them off guard. In future battles, it won't be so easy. We have to be faster. Although I removed the split crystal from the teleportation array, the sects near Profound Secret's royal city must have teleportation arrays. They will still teleport back, Night Sorrow said. Half an hour later, the god-slaying squad finished sweeping through the Profound Secret's Imperial City's City Lord Manor. Nan Liue handed over several storage rings to Night Sorrow. Retreat. While retreating, set fire to the city. Don't linger in battle, Night Sorrow ordered. After that, Night Sorrow led the way in front while Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling supported him from behind. They rushed out of the city. The members of the god-slaying team didn't stay idle either. They continuously threw out torches, poison, and poisonous water. Behind the group of people was a burning building. An hour later, the group left the Profound Secret's royal city. Night Sorrow put the members of the god-slaying team into the space-time pagoda and quickly flew with Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling. At this moment, Jun Xuanji appeared in Profound Secret's royal city with his men. Looking at the mess and the soaring flames of the city, their faces were filled with fury. We're still too late. The furious Xian Wenxiu spat out a mouthful of blood, dyeing his white robe red. Profound Secret's royal city's teleportation formation couldn't be used. Knowing that Profound Secret's royal city was under attack, Jun Xuanji brought his men to the Wandering Cloud Sword sect and flew towards Profound Secret's royal city. However, they still didn't make it in time. Jun Xuanji arrived in front of Junetinya's corpse and looked at the wounds on his abdomen and head. Night Sorrow, you and I are irreconcilable. I'll definitely grind your bones to dust. Junetinya's body was covered with spear wounds. In the Nine Regions world, the strongest spear user below the Saint Realm was Night Sorrow. No matter how furious Jun Xuanji was, the only thing she could do now was to deal with the aftermath and stabilize the situation. Several thousand miles away from Profound Secret's royal city, Night Sorrow led out the members of the god-slaying team and had them set up camp and prepare food. Night Sorrow, these two battles were beautiful. It can be said that the victory of our 9 regions world has been decided. They won't dare to fight in the 9 regions world after this, Shui Wuling said with a smile. We have too few people. It'll be troublesome if we're surrounded and intercepted. What we need to do now is to return to the 9 regions world and take down the spatial passageway. After that, we'll bring our men to the profound secrets realm, Knight Sorrow explained his plan. That's the best decision. I was really worried. You can just lead us here and kill. We can launch sneak attacks. If we fight head-on, we won't be a match for them, Yun Tianlong said with a smile. King Yun, Senior Shui, if you have any ideas, you can tell me. Our goal is to win the war, Knight Sorrow said as he took out 2 jars of wine and tossed them to Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling. You've arranged it well. It's just that when you pass by the spatial passageway on your way back, you must be careful, Shui Wuling said after taking a sip of wine. Thank you for the reminder, Senior Shui. Knight Sorrow nodded. Forever. Free novel reading. After resting for a while, Knight Sorrow put everyone into the time-space treasure pagoda. He looked at the map and started flying. He wanted to find the nearest city and teleport to Three Sun City. One day later, Knight Sorrow entered a city called Heavenly Strategy City. Dressed in white robes, Knight Sorrow looked like a young master. No one would associate him with the Killing God or the 9 Regions commander. News of the war was spreading in Heavenly Strategy City. Profound Secrets Pavilion was destroyed and half of Profound Secrets Royal City was destroyed. This was a huge blow to the Profound Secrets realm. After teleporting to Three Sun City, Knight Sorrow flew directly to the spatial passageway. He had to go back and organize the battle as soon as possible. When he arrived near the spatial passageway, Knight Sorrow used the same method. He tore open the space and advanced through the spatial turbulence. Gutianyu's formation was very domineering, but so what? The spatial passageway Knight Sorrow was moving through was completely different from the one he had set up. The inescapable net was useless. Within the spatial turbulence, Knight Sorrow used his spiritual strength to probe the spatial passageway. He found that the strength of the ambush at the spatial passageway was not as strong as before. This meant that the Profound Secrets realm's people had already retreated. After passing through the blockade, Knight Sorrow had Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling leave the time-space treasure pagoda. He told them that in order to confirm the situation in the Western Nether region, it would be best to first go to Western Nether City and Eastern Cloud City to investigate. Shui Wuling and Yun Tianlong naturally agreed. The 2 of them had absolute faith in Knight Sorrow. After investigating, the 3 of them found that Western Nether City and Eastern Cloud City were empty cities that had been looted. There were no Profound Secrets realm people there. Taking out a flying ship, Knight Sorrow sent the god-slaying squad out of the time-space treasure pagoda. They all drank and chatted. We destroyed their biggest sect and city. That's really satisfying, laughed Yun Tianlong. Chapter 847. When the airship appeared in the sky above the domain C of the 3 Yuan domain, the bugle horn of the 9 domains world sounded. It was the invincible venerable Wu Di from the Qingtian domain. You pig brain, that's Knight Sorrow's ship. Looking at Wu Di, the Grand Elder directly scolded. Wu Di rubbed his nose and didn't say anything. He had fought with the Eastern Xian region and Northern Sea region before, so he still felt a little awkward. After controlling the airship to land, Knight Sorrow's group walked out of the airship. What's the situation? Long Xiansheng led the 9 region saints and sovereigns to greet them. Not bad, Knight Sorrow said with a smile after putting away the airship. He's too modest. We've fought twice and won both times. Now that the Profound Mysteries realm has retreated, we can take back the Western Nether region at any time, Yun Tianlong said with a smile. Can we take back the Western Nether region? Saint Heavenly Underworld asked excitedly. FG latest L chapter on *F-net, West Underworld City, Eastern Cloud City, and other places no longer have any troops from the Profound Mysteries realm. The main reason is that we followed Knight Sorrow to the Profound Mysteries Pavilion's mountain gate. We killed their vice pavilion lord and burned down their mountain gate. We also attacked their largest city, the Profound Mysteries Imperial City. They had no choice but to retreat, Shui Wuling said. She was extremely excited when she talked about these two battles. In war, time and opportunity are very important. Let's discuss the next step of the plan. Knight Sorrow nodded to the group and walked towards the central tent. After Heavenly Underworld Saint sat down, he said, "We saints will not participate. The others are not as smart and powerful as you. You can fight however you want. Yes, you can make the arrangements as you see fit." Long Xianqing nodded. Knight Sorrow stood up and said, "All right then, I'll give my opinion first. If anyone feels that it's inappropriate or lacking, you can add on." Following that, Knight Sorrow made his own arrangements. First, Yi Wuyo would lead a small group of people to continue guarding this place. "Is that really necessary?" Hu Shao asked. "It's necessary. If the Profound Mysteries realm has people hiding in the Western Nether realm, they can break through the defensive line and start a war inside the 9 regions world while we're defenseless. We'll be in a passive position and the advantages we've accumulated will be gone." Knight Sorrow explained his reasons for making such arrangements. "That is indeed the case. I was just spouting nonsense. Please continue with the arrangements." Hu Shao cupped his hands and sat down. "Secondly, get the formation masters to come over and set up the teleportation formations on the airships. War requires speed. Our attack and retreat routes must be fast and convenient. The teleportation formations must be fully set up and put into use," said Knight Sorrow. "Leave this task to me. I will arrange it immediately," said Elder Hua Haining of Tianji Tower. "Third, gather half of the people and the array Grand Master. Follow me to take control of the spatial tunnel." Knight Sorrow said to Grand Elder and Lu Qin. "Gather half of the people. What about the rest?" asked Grand Elder. "Ask the elders of Tianji Tower and Night Moon's Invincible Venerables to lead the team and eliminate the enemy forces in the Western Nether Realm," Knight Sorrow said to Grand Elder. After listening to Knight Sorrow's orders, everyone nodded. This arrangement was almost perfect. Half an hour later, Grand Elder had finished selecting the people. "Then let's go. I'll have to trouble Father and Mother to take care of the defensive line here for a while." Knight Sorrow nodded to Yi Wuyo and Yu Qing. Then, the group set off on the airship. At this time, the 9 Realms world had gathered 7 airships. The Saints, 9 Realms Venerables, and Knight Sorrow sat in one. "City Lord Tai Shu, City Lord Lu, we've gained a lot this time. The resources we looted from the Profound Pavilion are in these 3 storage rings. The resources we looted from the Profound Secrets Imperial City are in these 5 storage rings. I didn't take a look at the details." Yi Shan took out 8 storage rings and gave them to City Lord Tai Shu and Lu Qin. "You brought people to fight. These resources were obtained by you. Naturally, you should keep them," said Grand Elder. "Take them." The victory of the war was the result of everyone's cooperation. You, City Lord Lu Qin, and the others discuss what needs to be replenished and what needs to be used. In addition, the Western Nether Realm needs resources to be rebuilt, said Knight Sorrow. All right. Let's discuss the use of the resources later. Grand Elder thought for a moment and nodded. This is the storage ring of the Profound Pavilion's Vice Pavilion Lord. This is the storage ring of the Imperial City City Lord, Jun Tianya. Knight Sorrow took out 2 more storage rings. During the war, looting warehouses and mansions is considered war resources. You killed the enemy's leader, so what the leader had is naturally yours. Don't take it out. None of us are thick-skinned enough to take it, said Lu Qin. After thinking for a moment, Knight Sorrow put away the 2 storage rings. He didn't insist. If he did, it would be unreasonable and meaningless. If there's a chance, we must kill the leader. He has a lot of resources, said Yun Huang. You little brat, shut up. The leader can be killed at will. If I see him, I'll have to hide, scolded Yun Tianlong. Yun Huang shrunk his neck and didn't say anything. If he spoke again, he'd be scolded again. A bunch of brats. If you didn't have a good leader, you'd all be lying in your base right now. But you're not bad, said Shui Wuling with a smile. Yun Huang and the others nodded. They also understood that if Night Sorrow hadn't held them back, they wouldn't have been able to fight on the battlefield. After crossing the Realm Sea, Grand Elder and the others began to make arrangements. Some set up teleportation formations, while others led people to clean up the enemy. Night Sorrow's main force didn't stop. They kept moving toward the spatial channel's entrance. Once they were near the spatial channel's entrance, they put away their spatial ships. Formation Grandmasters, be careful. We'll suppress the enemy first, then break the formation and occupy this place. Night Sorrow led his people forward. After advancing for a while, Shang shouted for everyone to pay attention. He had discovered traces of a formation. 2 unrivaled supremacies come and protect Grandmaster Shang. Night Sorrow shouted behind him. As soon as Night Sorrow gave the order, some people followed to protect Shang. Shang began to study the formation. As he occasionally sent spirit stones into the formation, the enemy's formation lost its effect. At this time, the Profound Mysteries Realm's people at the spatial channel's entrance became vigilant. Yi Xiantian pulled back Ren Tianji, who was about to fight. We can't rashly fight. The enemy is coming out in full force. If the formation doesn't work, we can only retreat. Vice Commander Yi, are we just going to surrender this place? Asked one of the Profound Mysteries Realm's unrivaled supremacies. Chapter 848. After advancing for a few miles, Entropy stopped. What's wrong? You can't break it? Vice Palace Lord, it's not that I can't break it. I just don't have enough spirit stones, said Entropy embarrassedly. The Grand Elder shook his head speechlessly. He gave Entropy a spatial ring. Use it as you wish. You must break this formation. This is called the Annihilation Formation. There's also a spatial sealing formation. It won't be a problem for me. Entropy led the other 2 formation grandmasters forward. T-Head, 1, Vice Commander Yi, some of them know how to set up the Annihilation Formation. If the formation can't hold, it's too late to set up another formation, said Gu Tianyu. Damn it, go to the spatial channel and set up another formation. Yi Xiantian waved his hand at Gu Tianyu and had the people near the spatial channel retreat to the Profound Mysteries Realm side. He knew they couldn't hold this side. Through the formation, Yi Xiantian knew how strong the people from the 9 regions world were. If the Profound Mysteries Realm's high-level experts were all here, then it would be fine. But now, there was only a portion of them. If they fought head-on, they would just be sending themselves to their deaths. While Entropy was breaking his own formation, he was also directing the other formation grandmasters. His progress was very fast. When all the formations were broken, there were no longer any people from the Profound Mysteries Realm here. They just retreated. Let's go in, said the Grand Elder to Night Sorrow. I'll think about it. Night Sorrow closed his eyes and pondered. Leave half of us here. City Lord Grand Elder will be in charge. The others, including Protector Entropy, enter my spatial treasure. Senior Saints, don't say anything. Don't interfere with the battle. Just watch the show. Night Sorrow took out the Spacetime Pagoda and enlarged it. At this time, no one was worried about whether or not it was safe to enter Night Sorrow's spatial treasure. They all entered the Spacetime Pagoda. Then Night Sorrow used a spatial crack to tear through the spatial channel spatial barrier and enter the chaotic flow of space. After passing through the spatial tunnel, Yi Xiantian and the others watched in shock as he broke through the spatial barrier between the spatial tunnel and the Profound Mysteries Realm. He entered the spatial crack in the Profound Mysteries Realm. Sect Master Yi, our formation can't stop this situation. Gu Tianyu's expression was extremely ugly because the array formation set up at the intersection of the spatial passageway and the Profound Mysteries Realm could not stop Night Sorrow from tearing through space. It's not your fault. Their means are too sharp. However, they wouldn't dare to rush out of the spatial crack. Once they do, the matrix will be activated, Yi Xiantian said. Night Sorrow traversed through the spatial turbulence for more than 15 kilometers. When he felt that the spatial barrier had returned to normal, he tore through space and returned to the profound mysteries realm. Everyone, spread out and defend. Kill anyone that comes out. Night Sorrow gave the order. At the same time, he brought Lu Qin and Xue Wuhan to protect Shang. Night Sorrow was also breaking the array under Shang's command. He was also an array master. It was just that he hadn't studied array formations recently. We are surrounded. Through the formation, Yi Xiantian noticed the situation outside and sighed. Then sneak attack and kill that array master. That way, the formation will be able to hold on, said Gu Tianyu. Yi Xiantian nodded and sent a pinnacle honorable to follow Gu Tianyu to kill Shang. However, Yi Shang had already thought of this and severely injured Gu Tianyu. The pinnacle honorable was suppressed by Lu Qin and Xue Wuheng before being killed. Grandmaster Gu, lead the way. Find the weakest point of their seal. Evil monarch will break out. Yi Xiantian knew that if they didn't leave now, they wouldn't be able to. The path that Gu Tianyu and the profound mysteries realm took was the path that Yun Tianlong and his people had been guarding. As soon as they appeared, Yun Tianlong let out a long whistle. Hearing Yun Tianlong's howl, Yi Sorrow led his men over. This was an opportunity to deal a heavy blow to the profound mysteries realm. If they could kill one more expert, they would have one less opponent in the following battles. When Night Sorrow and the others arrived, the battle was in chaos. Ren Tianji and Yi Xiantian were attacking Yun Tianlong. Fortunately, Yun Tianlong wasn't fighting to the death. He was just stalling for time, so he wasn't in too much danger. However, he had been stabbed in the back. When he saw Night Sorrow and the others arrive, Ren Tianji's body flashed and left the battlefield. Yi Xiantian wasn't so lucky. He was firmly entangled by Yun Tianlong. Night Sorrow did not chase after Ren Tianji. Without being affected by the advantages and disadvantages of entering the battle, it would be very difficult for Ren Tianji to catch up to him if he wanted to run. In the end, Ren Tianji's fighting spirit activated his energy, and his energy was endless. Even Night Sorrow could not exhaust him. Night Sorrow also didn't join the battle because it was meaningless. The 9 regions world's unrivaled venerables were killing the profound mysteries realm's people. There was no way for them to escape. Half an hour later, the battle ended. Only Ren Tianji had managed to escape. The others had all been killed. Next, Shang continued to break the formation. He completely destroyed the formation near the spatial channel. We have the battle situation under control, said the Grand Elder. That should be the case. Protector Shang, please work harder and set up a killing formation here. In the future, we won't give them a chance to enter our 9 regions world. The formation must be a composite one. It can't be broken easily, Night Sorrow said to Shang. Young master, you're too polite. This isn't a problem. I won't make the same mistake as them. I'll make some formations that haven't appeared before. Shang nodded at Night Sorrow. Then, the 9 regions world's people began to set up camp. Some people also reported the situation to the 9 regions saint through the spatial channel. Knowing that the situation was under control, the 9 regions saint went through the channel and arrived at the command tent that Night Sorrow had just set up. Night Sorrow, I thank you on behalf of the millions of creatures in the Western Nether region. Sky Underworld Saint cupped his hands at Night Sorrow. Senior Sky Underworld Saint, you don't have to do this. Everyone in the 9 regions world is responsible for the war in the 9 regions world. Night Sorrow is naturally responsible for it. Night Sorrow cupped his hands in return. You're right. But because of my impatience, the Western Nether region fell. I'm responsible for it. Fortunately, you took action and solved all these problems. Sky Underworld Saint smiled. Night Sorrow, what's the plan next? Xia Lanjun asked. Everyone was particularly excited and happy now. We'll turn the tables around. With the advantage in hand, there's no need to rush. Let's clean up the Western Nether region first. After all, the war is in our hands now. We can fight however we want. Knight Sorrow was the first to speak. Then let's follow your train of thought. After the Western Nether region is cleaned up, there won't be any unstable elements in the 9 regions world. Long Xianxing nodded. Shang and the other formation grandmasters began to get busy. Knight Sorrow also began to set up formations. Although he didn't know how to destroy formations, Knight Sorrow was still capable of setting up ordinary formations. As he set up the formations, Knight Sorrow's attainments in formations also increased. All-round talent. Lu Qin sighed emotionally as she watched Knight Sorrow, Shang, and the other formation grandmasters busying themselves. Back then, when I first met him, he was still young. It's only been a few years since then. Heroes come from troubled times, said the Grand Elder. Chapter 849. That's a domineering title, said Lu Qin. Little girl, you only know how domineering a title is. You don't know the meaning behind it. When a cultivator's body reaches a certain level, their body will become immortal. When a cultivator's soul reaches a certain level, their soul will become immortal. Immortality is the goal of all cultivators, but that doesn't mean they can be called immortal, said Long Xianxing. Lu Qin blushed. If others called her a little girl, they would be asking for a beating. But Long Xianxing didn't go overboard at all. Senior Long Xianxing, does that mean immortality is a realm? Asked Grand Elder. I don't know. Maybe it's a cultivation realm, or maybe it's an achievement. There's no limit to cultivation. You've all seen Yi Shan's body. Even a peak venerable could only slightly injure him. If someone had told you before that a venerable could cultivate his body to this level, would you have believed it? Asked Long Xianxing. I've never heard of it, and I've never seen it. Naturally, I wouldn't believe it. Lu Qin nodded. As he cultivates, his body will become more domineering, said Long Xianxing. At this time, Knight Sorrow returned. Seniors are all here. In 2 days, this place will be impregnable. Of course, if the other party's venerables can also tear through space, we won't be able to defend against them. In addition, we found their transportation formation outside the formation. It has already been destroyed. If the transportation formation was at the entrance of the spatial passage, we wouldn't have been able to kill them and would have escaped long ago, said Knight Sorrow. There are very few cultivators with spatial attributes. Being able to tear through space is even more difficult. This is the terrifying talent of your Knight clan, said Xia Lanjun with a smile. Knight Sorrow took a sip of tea from Yang Lei and said, after this place is stabilized, leave some people here. The rest will go to the Western Nether region and search for the remnants of the Profound Mysteries realm. Long Xianxing and the others nodded. They all agreed with Knight Sorrow's suggestion. After drinking a sip of tea, Knight Sorrow continued to work on the formation. This was also a tempering for him. The venerables were drinking tea in the tent. Steady. That's what it means to be steady, Long Xing said. In the beginning, I believed in his ability, True Sea Saint said. I believed in his strategy and wisdom, but I was worried that he was young and not calm enough. But it seems that he is very calm. Not only is his plan flawless, he is also very experienced. This is the fortune of our 9 regions world. Nan Ganxing nodded. Region Lord Wu, your Eastern Xian region shouldn't start a region war. We really can't handle it. If you have any problems in the future, just say it. The Flying Tiger Saint said with a smile. That won't happen. Our Eastern Xian region only seeks to develop ourselves. Having more resources was equivalent to paving the way for Knight Sorrow. Xueshi, there's still something wrong. Normally, he shouldn't have Saint Spirit stones. The Profound Mysteries realm is similar to the 9 regions world, so it's impossible for them to produce Saint Spirit stones, said Knight Sorrow. There are many possibilities. Our 9 regions world is connected to a different space. If cultivators go there, the cultivators of the profound mysteries realm can also go there, said Xueshi. I know. It's possible. Night Sorrow nodded. He didn't want the profound mysteries realm to be connected to a higher realm. After organizing the resources, Night Sorrow put them away. It feels good to have a lot of resources, said Night Sorrow as he tidied up his robes and paced back and forth. You're not just a lot of resources. You're a moving treasure trove. Whoever robbed you could support a sect for years, said Xueshi with a smile. She knew how much resources Night Sorrow had accumulated. It's always been me robbing others. The only one I let off was you, said Night Sorrow with a smile. Xueshi's situation was very bad at that time, so Night Sorrow didn't have the heart to touch her storage ring. Yes, I have to thank you for this, said Xueshi with a smile. After flirting with Xueshi for a while, Night Sorrow came out of the space-time treasure pagoda and gathered everyone at the god-slaying team's camp. Nan Liyue, distribute these storage rings. Those who didn't get one, don't worry. Everything will be given. Also, I got some weapons this time, distribute them. The principle of this batch of weapons is that those who enter the supremacy realm will get it first. Those with compatible attributes will get it first. Yi Shang took out a dozen spiritual weapons and handed them to Nan Liyue. Captain, these are all spirit artifacts. Nan Liyue looked at Night Sorrow with surprise. Yes, so the principle is that the venerables get first. But everyone will get one sooner or later. Do you believe me? Shouted Night Sorrow. Chapter 850. So many spirit artifacts. Are these spirit artifacts for your brothers? Xie Lanjun asked. Night Sorrow looked at the group of saints and said, we've gained a lot from the battles during this period of time. Let's equip our brothers. Seniors, if you have any low-grade weapons, take them out if you don't need them. There's no point in keeping them. Us brothers are the ones who truly kill the enemy. Alright, you win. Zhen Haixing took out 2 sabers and handed them to Night Sorrow. The others also took out some weapons, the least of which was a spirit artifact. Brothers, thank you seniors. Night Sorrow shouted. In response to Night Sorrow's words, the members of the god-slaying squad howled. Skull. LF initial high hair. In the future, you can't just casually watch. You'll lose weight if you do. Heavenly Underworld Saint looked at Night Sorrow and said. Hearing Heavenly Underworld Saint's words, everyone laughed. However, seeing your strength increase and being able to fight better for the 9 zones, I don't feel any heartache. Heavenly Underworld Saint said while stroking his beard. After letting the members of the god-slaying squad make their own arrangements, Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea and chatted with the Saint of the 9 realms. The 9 domains world had stabilized, but the profound mysteries realm was in chaos. Jun Xuanji had set up a defensive line near the 3 Suns mountain range in the 3 Sun city. Unlike the 9 regions world, the profound mysteries realm did not have a barrier like the realm sea. The atmosphere in Jun Xuanji's command tent was oppressive because the profound mysteries realm had suffered too much recently. They had lost nearly half of their strength, and this was before the real battle. Grand Elder, we won't be able to defend like this. We can only fight head-on. Jun Xuanji was wearing a plain white dress because too many people had died in the family. Jun Tianya was her grandfather. Our terrain is indeed not suitable for defense. It can be said that if they want to come in, they can come in, Xian Wenxiu said. Grand Elder, I'll make the arrangements right away. Jun Xuanji looked at Xian Wenxiu. Since it's already come this far, you can go all out, Xian Wenxiu said. Shang Luo also nodded. The mysterious Heaven Sword sect still existed, but the sect master had died in battle. All the peak sovereigns had died in battle. After that, Jun Xuanji gave the order to surround the spatial passageway and prevent the cultivators of the 9-domain world from entering the profound mysteries realm. Then what should we do with the group that's still in the hinterlands of our profound mysteries realm? A man asked. He was the sect master of the Flowing Cloud Sword sect, Yu Feng. He's determined to kill me. Everyone, if you see that Night Sorrow, send out saints to kill him. Grand Elder Xian, can you make the arrangements? Jun Xuanji looked at Xian Wenxiu with killing intent. Jun Xuanji's words stunned everyone in the command tent. This was a ruthless move. Not only was he ruthless to the enemy, but he was also ruthless to his own people. I can arrange it. Gu Nanxing, do you have any questions? Xian Wenxiu looked at one of the saints. No problem. As long as there's any news, notify me and I'll act. One of the saints nodded. They only have 1 or 2 sovereigns that we can't suppress. We'll send out the weakest saints. Once we kill those 2, the situation will change. Remember, saints will die if they attack, so we have to end the battle quickly. Kill them before the world's laws descend, even if we have to self-detonate, said Xian Wenxiu. All right. Gu Nanxing nodded. Gu Nanxing, as long as I'm alive, no one can touch your family or sect, said Xian Wenxiu. Many thanks, Saint Xian. Perhaps this is the time for me to contribute to the profound mysteries realm. Gu Nanxing cupped his hands towards Xian Wenxiu. Then Jun Xuanji ordered all the profound mysteries realm's warriors to head toward the spatial passageway. She wanted to fight a decisive battle ahead of time. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, someone came to inform Night Sorrow that the profound mysteries realm's people were about to arrive. After leaving the tent, Night Sorrow saw that the formation had been activated. The spatial passageway was filled with chaotic spatial energy, and anyone who dared to enter would be killed. Night Sorrow raised his reincarnation spear and walked out of the formation. He stood at the edge of the formation and looked at the profound mysteries realm's people. Jun Xuanji had led his people to completely seal off the area. What, you can't hold on anymore and want to fight ahead of time? Asked Night Sorrow as he looked at the veiled Jun Xuanji. Do you dare? Jun Xuanji spat out. Of course I dare, but I don't want to. If I fight however you want me to, I'll lose face. Remember, I'll fight however I want you to. If I want to fight, I'll fight. If I want to steadily advance, I'll steadily advance. What can you do to me? Night Sorrow directly pointed out the profound mysteries realm's passive situation. Remember, this formation isn't omnipotent. Once we flatten this formation, we'll slaughter our way into the 9 domain worlds. We'll slaughter everyone, said Jun Xuanji through clenched teeth. Slaughter everyone? Fine, if you want to slaughter everyone, then I'll slaughter everyone. The next time I slaughter a city, you'll have to pay the price for saying those words, said Night Sorrow as he pointed his reincarnation spear in the direction of the profound mysteries realm. Last time, we only killed cultivators. It seems there was no need for that. They're the ones who crossed the line, said Yun Tianlong as he stood beside Night Sorrow. Formation masters, break the formation. Jun Xuanji waved his hand. A few formation masters came out from the profound mysteries realm and were about to break the formation. Night Sorrow raised his protective barrier. As long as the formation masters came close, he would attack. He had an absolute advantage fighting at the edge of the formation. Grand Elder Xian, arrange for people, said Jun Xuanji as he glanced at the group of saints behind him. Aloof saint, capture him. Xian Wenxiu looked at a saint behind him. The saint from the ancient south was waiting for Night Sorrow's news in the profound mysteries realm, so he could only choose another person. This was a tall saint. When Xian Wenxiu called out his name, he was stunned for a moment. His eyes were filled with sadness. He knew that he was cannon fodder that the profound mysteries realm used to fight against the supremacies. Lin Yun's figure flashed as he charged towards Yishan. Retreat, shouted Night Sorrow. He knew that the situation wasn't right. He had thought that it would either be Jun Xuanji or Ren Tianji, but he hadn't expected it to be a saint. Following Night Sorrow's roar, Yun Tianlong, the grand uncles, and the others retreated into the formation. After Night Sorrow roared, his protective barrier slashed diagonally and he dodged to the side. He couldn't retreat. There were people from the 9 regions behind him, and he didn't want to bring danger to them. Night Sorrow's body flashed extremely quickly, but the aloof saint was even faster. He directly charged at Night Sorrow. At this moment, clouds appeared in the sky and rapidly descended. Night Sorrow knew that this was the punishment of the world's law power. He had to survive before the world's law power killed the opponent's saint. The opponent was using a self-harming tactic to kill him. Spatial crack. Night Sorrow used spatial rend and then drilled into the spatial fissure. Aloof saint couldn't let Night Sorrow escape, so he clasped his hands together. Seal. Chapter 851. Since he couldn't enter the spatial crack, Night Sorrow switched his protective barrier to the faster protective barrier of his bloodline. Then, he turned and slashed, dodging Leng Jun's path. You must die today. Leng Jun continued to chase after Night Sorrow. He knew that he didn't have much time left. The power of the regulations of the world would arrive soon. Leng Jun was a saint, and he was confident in his own strength. However, he knew that he would definitely die when facing the power of the regulations of the world. Even the open cloud saint, a high-level saint, couldn't do it, let alone him, a 3-star saint. Night Sorrow didn't intend to fight with the saint. Putting aside the large difference in strength between them, Jun Xuanji had also unsheathed his sword. As long as he was entangled, he would be attacked from both sides. When Night Sorrow planned to retreat into the formation, he realized that Leng Jun's body was beginning to swell. Night Sorrow could even see the energy crazily circulating inside Leng Jun's body. Self-detonation. How could Night Sorrow not be able to analyze this situation? Gritting his teeth, he charged towards the Profound Mysteries Realm's camp. If you want to self-detonate, then come. Send more saints to stop me. Seeing Night Sorrow charge towards their camp, Xian Wenxiu was stunned. Jun Xuanji was also stunned. They didn't know how to control themselves. Sending more saints would be useless. That would be a loss for nothing. Don't come over. Jun Xuanji shouted at Leng Jun as he drew his sword to block Night Sorrow. Xian Wenxiu really wanted to tell him to go into the formation and self-detonate, but he didn't dare to. Once he did, it would be a violation of the saint contract. Leng Jun, who didn't dare to charge forward and couldn't drag Night Sorrow down with him, was dumbfounded. He could only allow the uncontrollable energy to break through his body. Night Sorrow didn't get entangled with Jun Xuanji. He slashed his protective barrier twice and changed direction, landing at the place where Leng Jun had died. With a wave of his left hand, he grabbed Leng Jun's storage ring and Saint Crystal. Then, he entered the formation. Jun Xuanji chased after her for a few steps before retreating to a safe area. She didn't dare to approach the array formation area. Not only would she be attacked by the array formation, but she would also be attacked by the people inside the array formation. No one attacked, so Night Sorrow walked out of the array and smiled as he looked at Jun Xuanji and the others, quite ruthless, saints fighting against sovereigns. Not bad. Thank you for these Saint Crystals and storage rings. You'll definitely die. Jun Xuanji was about to go crazy with rage. Not only had the Grim Saint failed to kill Night Sorrow, but he had also given Night Sorrow a Saint Crystal and a spatial ring for free. She knew that the Grim Saint's spatial ring was filled with valuable resources. Smelly mouth, you're boasting shamelessly again. If you have any ideas, come at me. I'll see how you guys play before I decide how to play. There are so many cities and sects on this map. I can attack wherever I want. Night Sorrow took out the map of the Profound Mysteries realm and shook it. #you. It wasn't just Jun Xuanji. All of the cultivators from the Profound Mysteries realm were angered by Night Sorrow. This was a provocation, a threat, but it wasn't a threat at all. It was a clear deterrence. If you want to start a war, then you'll have to bear the consequences. Pass down my orders. If any array formation masters come near, kill them at all costs, Night Sorrow said to the cultivators of the 9 regions hidden in the array formation before retreating. Jun Xuanji thought for a moment before waving his sleeve. Don't worry about resources. Use a large array to cover their array formation. Cover this entire place. Qian Wenxiu turned and returned to his tent. He knew that Jun Xuanji's strategy was correct. It was just that sometimes, it wasn't effective. Night Sorrow returned to the Nine Regions World's tent and poured himself a cup of tea. He took a sip and said, "The profound mysteries realm can't be stabilized anymore. Night Sorrow, this is our mistake. We didn't have time to help you just now," Heavenly Underworld Saint said apologetically. Night Sorrow shook his head and said, "Our saints shouldn't do anything. Just now, the world's laws almost descended. Going against the heavenly Tao oath won't end well. Our saints intercepted their saints. That's not interfering in the war but stopping it," said Long Xiansheng. "Saints have to be extremely careful. They don't have any humanity left. If a saint wants to be cannon fodder, then they'll be cannon fodder." Night Sorrow knew that the profound mysteries realm was being ruthless. If a saint doesn't do anything, then no one will be able to contend against you. They're also helpless. "It's just that they're being too unscrupulous," said Xiaolanjun. "War is cruel. It's normal to be ruthless to the enemy, but it's also ruthless to your own people. But that's fine. I'll be more careful in the future." "I don't believe that they have many saints to fight with," snorted Night Sorrow. He felt that the profound mysteries realm was being ruthless to their own people. "Night Sorrow, from now on, you just need to make the tactical arrangements. We'll leave the fighting to the others," said Yin Tianlong. Yi Shang shook his head. The other side had Jun Xuanji and Ren Tianji, two ferocious people below the saint stage. Other than him who could restrain them and Yi Wuyo who could contend against them, the others could only be killed. "That's too shameless," cursed Shui Wuling. "War is about using everything," said Night Sorrow calmly. Soon, Lu Qin came to report that the other side was building a defensive formation. "Should the Nine Regions army attack now?" "No. If we fight head-on, we'll suffer great losses." Night Sorrow rejected Lu Qin's suggestion. "How can there be no deaths in war?" "Night Sorrow, we're determined to fight to the death for the Nine Regions world," said the Grand Uncles. "We need to use our skills to fight. The lives of the profound mysteries realm's people are like grass, but the lives of the Nine Regions world's people are precious to me. Martial Uncle Grand Uncles, arrange for people to hide in the formation. As soon as their formation masters come, use hidden weapons and poison. Notify the Sanyuan region's defensive line and the Western Nether region's people to come," ordered Night Sorrow. The Grand Uncles cupped their hands and went to make the arrangements. "Monarch Yun, Senior Shui, I'll go out in a bit. When I attack Jun Xuanji and Ren Tianji, you two lead the other venerables to attack. Remember, when I say retreat, you have to retreat," said Night Sorrow to Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling. "All right, we'll listen to you." Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling nodded. "The two of you, don't get too close. Don't tangle with the other side's venerables. Just attack the mid and early venerables. Their saints shouldn't attack you. After that, throw the poison into their crowd," said Night Sorrow. "Huh, just thinking about it makes me happy," laughed Shui Wuling. "Then let's go." Night Sorrow raised his reincarnation spear and left the tent. He entered the formation and approached the profound mysteries realm's camp. Long Xiansheng and Heavenly Underworld Saint also followed behind. They were afraid that Night Sorrow would be tricked by the saints. If that happened, it would be the fault of their saints. Chapter 852. The reincarnation spear in Night Sorrow's right hand shot toward Jun Xuanji. When Jun Xuanji blocked with his sword, Night Sorrow's body moved in an arc, and the target of the spear became Ren Tianji. "If you dare to come out, then die." Jun Xuanji roared and waved his sword toward Night Sorrow. Jun Tianya's death and the Jun family's destruction made Jun Xuanji extremely angry. He couldn't wait to kill Night Sorrow. This was the effect that Night Sorrow wanted. He wanted to restrain Jun Xuanji and Ren Tianji, and then let Yun Tianlong, Shui Wuling, and the others attack and kill the others. At this time, Long Xianxing, an heavenly underworld saint, stood at the edge of the array and looked at the saints of the Profound Mysteries realm. As long as the saints of the Profound Mysteries realm dared to attack, they would stop them. Before the heavenly punishment arrived, the sovereigns of the 9 regions world would be safe. Knight Sorrow's reincarnation spear moved freely and began to fight with Ren Tianji and Jun Xuanji. Although Ren Tianji didn't enter the state of losing himself due to the killing intent, he still used his killing intent to activate his saber. His combat strength was far beyond ordinary sovereigns. When Jun Xuanji attacked with his sword, he also used the 4 extreme combined attack to suppress Night Sorrow and let Ren Tianji kill him. Night Sorrow roared, and the law of nothingness rippled in all directions, forcing Jun Xuanji's 4 extreme combined attack away from the area around him. Then, he continued to attack Ren Tianji with his spear. The violent spear aura suppressed Ren Tianji completely. Night Sorrow chose to suppress Ren Tianji because he had a reason. He wanted to suppress Ren Tianji until he entered the state of bedevilment. At that time, he wouldn't be a threat to the people of the 9 regions world and would be a big trouble for the Profound Mysteries realm. The battle was very fierce. Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling didn't fight the sovereigns of the Profound Mysteries realm. Instead, they killed ordinary sovereigns. Others couldn't interfere in the battle between Night Sorrow, Jun Xuanji, and Ren Tianji. The 3 of them were peak cultivators below the saint realm, and their combat strength was even comparable to saints. Whether it was sword chi, saber astral blade, or spear chi, they could all injure and kill people. As the battle raged on, Night Sorrow let out a long howl. Void True Chi and Power of Desolates alternated attacks, suppressing Jun Xuanji and Ren Tianji to the point that they could only defend and could not attack. How you want to fight? I'll accompany you to the end. I'll accompany you to the end. Whatever you want to fight, you want to fight? I'll accompany you to the end, I'll accompany you will to the end. I will fight you, I to the end, I will fight will to the end, I will the world sorrow fight me. Long Xianxing looked at Xian Wenxiu. Xian Wenxiu's body was surging with energy, and he seemed to have the intention to attack. Noticing Long Xuanxing's saber, Xian Wenxiu didn't move. Even if he wanted to risk the wrath of heaven to kill Yi Shang, Long Xianxing, an heavenly underworld saint, wouldn't allow it. At that moment, Yun Tianlong shouted, "Commander, it's about time." Night Sorrow turned to look. He saw that after Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling killed some people, they were being chased by the other side sovereigns. They couldn't do anything else, so he gave the order, "Retreat." After forcing Jun Xuanji back with a spear strike, Yi Shang's body drew a semicircle, bypassing Ren Tianji who was attacking him. Then, with 2 slashes from his chi shield, he arrived at the edge of the array formation. Night Sorrow ignored the eyes of the Profound Mysteries realm's people. He looked at Yun Tianlong and Shui Wuling and asked, "How are the results?" Sovereign Wu Hen, me, and the others killed more than a dozen mid-level sovereigns. We didn't count the low-level sovereigns, Yun Tianlong reported. It's okay. We don't need to count the low-level sovereigns. Hey, you guys, be careful. I'm going to drink some tea. It's hard to say when we'll fight again. If we're in a good mood, we might continue to kill. If we're in a bad mood, we might take it out on you guys. Let's go. Night Sorrow raised his reincarnation spear and gave the order to retreat. After returning to the tent, Night Sorrow brewed some tea and drank it. Today's killing was really satisfying. They must be wondering if Commander Night Sorrow's mood is good or bad, Shui Wuling said with a laugh. Yeah, whether he's in a good mood or not is a good thing. Yun Tianlong said with a smile. Today, they had suppressed the Profound Mysteries realm's people. Everyone was relieved. Next, Night Sorrow talked about the current problem. The sovereigns and peak sovereigns hadn't arrived yet. Compared to the 9 upper regions, they were at a disadvantage. So, they had to play it safe. Night Sorrow, I'm not worried about this. The main thing is that you have to be careful. They've really been driven crazy. The saints are willing to risk the heavenly Tao's condemnation to kill you. This explains the situation, Long Xianxing said. That's true. I'll be careful. Knight Sorrow nodded. This kind of situation will happen to you and your father. If it's someone else, they won't fight so hard. Heavenly Underworld Saint looked at Knight Sorrow, then at the other sovereigns and said, We're not afraid. From another perspective, it's equivalent to us sovereigns killing their saints, Yun Tianlong said. You're dreaming. I'll talk about it when he sees you. Grand Uncle, who had returned from the spatial tunnel, looked at Yun Tianlong and said. She had already arranged the deployment. City Lord Grand Uncle, this king snatched your territory last time. That was his fault. In the end, didn't this king return it to you? Don't take it to heart, Yun Tianlong said. Cool. That matter is long over. I was just stating the facts. King Yun, you're overthinking. Grand Uncle said with a smile. At night, the people of the 9 regions gathered at the entrance of the tunnel. Yi Wuyo and Night Moon were both there. This meant that the top forces of the 9 regions were all here. We'll fight again tomorrow. After everyone sat down and talked about the current situation, Night Sorrow made the decision. After everyone dispersed, Night Sorrow and his parents returned to their tent. Son, the saints of the other side are planning to make a move on you. You have to be careful. Yu Qing said to Night Sorrow. Mother, don't worry. I'm not a child. Night Sorrow said with a smile. How are you not a child? No matter how great your achievements are, no matter how many wives and children you have, in my eyes, you'll always be a child. Yu Qing glared at Night Sorrow and said. Mother is right. Night Sorrow stood up and bowed to Yu Qing. Why are you so serious? The child is already a commander of the 9 regions. He knows what to do. Yi Wuyo looked at Yu Qing and said. Wuyo, because I've lost before, I know how deep the pain is. I understand how precious everything I have today is. My son, my daughter, and you are all I have. Yu Qing wiped the corners of her eyes and said. Mother, I understand. From now on, I'll do whatever you say. Night Sorrow said. You have your own path, but every time you do something, think about your father and me. Yu Qing nodded. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow gathered his people. Then, he looked at Yi Wuyo. Father, when we fight later, be careful. They can do anything to saints that they can't control. Chapter 853. Night Sorrow looked at the saints who had come with him. He then walked over to Long Xianxing and Heavenly Underworld Saint and bowed. Don't worry. Long Xianxing nodded. He knew that Yi Shang was bowing for his family. He wanted Long Xianxing and Heavenly Underworld Saints to take care of his family. When Yi Shang fought, he never had any requests. Night Sorrow turned around and looked at the 9 regions' invincible sovereigns and peak sovereigns. Everyone, take care. Let's drink and chat when we return. After saying that, Night Sorrow walked out of the formation and rushed toward Jun Xuanji and the others' tent. Soon, Yi Wuyo and the others also came out. After Jun Xuanji led his people to surround the large array at the spatial passageway, he began to arrange the array formation. Because it required a lot of work to set up the array formation, including entropy and the others, the Profound Mysteries Realm's main camp was set up at the front, and the array formation was set up from the corners. After Night Sorrow appeared, he threw the torch and poison at the Profound Mysteries Realm's camp. Since it was a war, there were no rules to worry about. Since Jun Xuanji had said that he would not spare even the fowls and dogs of the 9 regions world, there was nothing wrong with the 9 regions world being ruthless. As the 9 regions world's people charged, the Profound Mysteries Realm's camp fell into chaos. They could only hastily fight back. This time, Jun Xuanji had also miscalculated. She felt that the 9-domain world strength below the Saint stage was not enough and did not dare to fight the Profound Mysteries Realm head-on. However, when the 9 domain world's forces arrived, the difference between the two sides was not that great. Moreover, it was a surprise attack tactic. Night Sorrow was suppressing Yi Wuyo's attacks because Jun Xuanji's 4 extremes attack countered Yi Wuyo. Night Sorrow would not give him a chance to attack Yi Wuyo. On the other hand, Ren Tianji's side was very strong. However, they did not have much of an advantage against Yi Wuyo. At this time, Night Moon's 4 invincible sovereigns' power was displayed. Spatial blades continuously flew toward the Profound Mysteries Realm's camp, and the Profound Mysteries Realm's cultivators were constantly killed. At the same time, the protective barrier was of the spatial attribute, so its speed was extremely fast. CXG New Chapter. Section P. The Saints also looked at each other. The Saints of the 9 Domains world had no intention of attacking, and the Saints of the Profound Mysteries world also had no intention of attacking. If they did, they would suffer the wrath of the world's origin, and it would not be effective. The battle was extremely intense. There were injuries on the 9 regions side, but none of them were killed. This was because there were high-level supreme experts with a joint attack formation. Regardless of their destructive power, their self-preservation abilities were extremely strong. After fighting for a while, Night Sorrow saw that the Profound Mysteries realm had recovered and was able to stabilize their footing. He let out a long howl and gave the order to retreat. Just as Night Sorrow was about to retreat, he realized that Xue Wuling was surrounded. She could not use her speed. A few invincible sovereigns surrounded her. She could not even protect herself, let alone retreat. Moreover, she was already injured. Night Sorrow directly slashed at Xue Wuling's opponent with a spatial rend. Then, he ignored Jun Xuanji's attack and rushed toward Xue Wuling. He could not let Xue Wuling die. After several battles, Night Sorrow and Xue Wuling hit it off very well. Jun Xuanji's long sword broke through Night Sorrow's protective barrier and left a bloody wound on Night Sorrow's back. Night Sorrow reached Xue Wuling's side. He waved his reincarnation spear and repelled the attacks of 2 invincible sovereigns. This allowed Night Sorrow's back to be broken through by 2 invincible sovereigns. They slashed his shoulder and lower back twice. Let's go. Night Sorrow grabbed Xue Wuling and entered the spatial rend. Before entering the spatial rend, Night Sorrow's waist was slashed by Jun Xuanji again. Night Sorrow traveled through the spatial rend to the edge of the 9 regions defensive array. He tore open the spatial rend again and walked out. Even if you don't die, you'll suffer, Jun Xuanji said to Night Sorrow while holding his long sword. That's nothing. We killed many of your people. Night Sorrow let go of Xue Wuling and handed her over to the Grand Uncle for treatment. As long as we can injure you, the 9 regions commander, Jun Xuanji said to Night Sorrow. I was thinking too much. Help me wipe it off. Yi Shan directly took off his outer robe and upper garment. He threw his robe that had been cut into strips at his back to Lu Qin, who was walking over. At this moment, everyone saw that the wound on Night Sorrow's back had already formed a scab. After Lu Qin helped him wipe it, Night Sorrow took out a set of battle robes and put them on. If you have time, prepare more battle robes for me. Every time I change into battle robes, some of their people will die. Jun Xuanji's expression turned ugly. He originally thought that the Profound Mysteries realm would have profited by injuring Night Sorrow, even if some of their people died. However, it turned out that his thoughts were very naive. You can rest now. But be careful. I'll be back at any moment. Let's go back and prepare a feast. Night Sorrow placed his reincarnation spear into the holster on his back. He then led his people back to the camp at the spatial rend. Commander, Xue Wuling owes you a life. If you need anything, just let me know, Xue Wuling, who had calmed down, said. Senior Xue, what are you saying? We're all fighting for the 9 regions. I've already said that the lives of the 9 regions people are precious in my eyes. I won't abandon anyone, Night Sorrow said as he shook his head. Xue Wuling nodded. She knew that this was Night Sorrow. He was ruthless to his enemies but kind to his own people. He was willing to sacrifice himself to save them. After that, the 9 regions' people held a celebratory feast. Knight Sorrow, his parents, and Wu Lingfei sat together. "You little bastard, why did you ignore what I told you?" Yu Qing looked at Knight Sorrow and said, "Mother, my body is strong. Normal attacks won't hurt me. I don't want the people of the 9 regions to die. We're all children and parents. I don't want the other children to be like me, unable to see their parents from a young age, unable to live by their parents' side, unable to enjoy their happiness," Knight Sorrow said in a low voice. "Son, it's mother's fault for scolding you." Hearing Yi Shang's words, Yu Qing turned her head away. Her tears fell. She knew that not being able to live with his parents was a pain in Yi Shang's heart. That was why he was so persistent. Many people fell silent after hearing Knight Sorrow's words. They rejoiced that they had a commander like Knight Sorrow. No one from the 9 regions world had died yet. If it were someone else, even if they had the upper hand in the war, corpses would be strewn all over the place. Who knew how many families would have been destroyed? "Knight Sorrow, Auntie Fei toasts you." Wu Lingfei stood up and raised her wine bowl to Knight Sorrow. She knew that Knight Sorrow had truly matured. When he needed to be domineering, he was domineering. When he needed to be benevolent, he was benevolent. After this battle, Knight Sorrow's prestige would be unmatched in the 9 regions world. No one would be able to surpass him. Following Wu Lingfei's words, the 9 regions world's people all stood up and raised their wine bowls to Knight Sorrow. Even the saints were no exception. Next, we'll consider the problem of war. After this sneak attack, I've realized that the difference in power between us isn't that great. But brute force isn't the way to go. Let's see if we can win this war without paying any price, or with the smallest price, said Knight Sorrow after drinking a bowl of wine. In the past, the mode of attack and defense was a battle of attrition. But this time, it seems different. If we continue fighting like this, we might be able to conquer them, said Xiaolanjun. Chapter 854. If they want to seal this place, it means they don't want us to fight our way in. Then we'll just fight our way in. We'll fight until they're convinced, said Knight Sorrow. Then tell me what you think. Long Xianxing nodded at Knight Sorrow. Normally speaking, we should be defending this war. Now that we've defended the spatial channel, we've won the war. However, I don't plan to do that. If we stop now, the Profound Mysteries realm will have to fight again after many years of stability. At that time, who knows how many people will be affected by the flames of war. So, I plan to settle this once and for all. As for how many people I've killed, I, Knight Sorrow, will bear the consequences, said Knight Sorrow. To the Profound Mysteries realm, you've sinned deeply. But to the people of the 9 regions world, you've done a great deed, said Xiaolanjun. Everlasting Saint, you're gravely mistaken. Knight Sorrow has done a great deed to the people of the 9 regions world. Even to the Profound Mysteries realm, he's done a great deed. If we stop now, we'll be doing a great deed. But if we completely resolve the war between the Profound Mysteries realm and the 9 regions world, wouldn't that be a great deed to the people of the Profound Mysteries realm as well, said Long Xianxing. That's right. If we settle this with one battle, then the people of the Profound Mysteries realm won't be harmed by the flames of war in the future. Sky Underworld Saint nodded. Whether it's a great deed or a great deed isn't important. Since we were born in this era, we should shoulder what we have to shoulder. Now, I'll talk about the battle plan. They want to fight at the entrance of the spatial channel, but we won't. We'll fight at their core. Tomorrow, the unrivaled sovereigns will fight with me. The high-level sovereigns and formation grandmasters will guard this place. We can't afford to lose this place, said Knight Sorrow. After that, Yi Shang left the banquet and returned to his tent to meditate and cultivate. This is the era of Knight Sorrow, the era of the 9 zones world. Anyone who can't live with the 9 zones world is asking for trouble, Underworld Saint said. Long Xianxing didn't say anything. he was a little worried in his heart. He was worried that the profound mysteries realm would resort to unscrupulous means and use the lives of saints to fight against Night Sorrow. Moreover, they had no way to protect him. The area around the spatial passageway was occupied by the 9 regions world, and they could move about freely. However, the other areas of the profound mysteries realm couldn't. That would be considered an invasion and interference in the war. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow began to gather his men. "Father, I'll have to trouble you to guard this place. Mother cultivates the earth element and is good at defense, so she'll stay here as well. The other invincible paragons will enter the space-time pagoda." Night Sorrow extended his left hand, and the space-time pagoda enlarged. Cool excess starter then, more than 10 invincible venerables entered the pagoda of time and space one after another. "God-slaying squad, enter." Night Sorrow shouted to the members of the God-slaying squad. "Night Sorrow, be careful," said Wu Lingfei, looking at Night Sorrow. Wu Lingfei said as she looked at Yishang. She wasn't worried about a saint attacking because she knew that Xueshi was in Yishang's pagoda of time and space. If a saint attacked and Yishang couldn't handle it, Xueshi would be able to stop him. Xueshi was a special case because she had been in the space-time pagoda when the saint contract had been signed. It could be said that her presence in the space-time pagoda was recognized by the laws of both worlds. Thus, it was fine for her to follow Night Sorrow. Yi Shuang bowed to his parents and then walked into the array. He found a place where the spatial shackles were relatively weak and then used spatial ren to travel through the turbulent flow of space. The chaotic flow of space was different from the chaotic flow of space in the realm C. It wasn't as strong, and Night Sorrow had the law of nothingness protecting him. Adding on the spatial barrier, he didn't expend much energy and was able to travel quickly. Soon, Night Sorrow passed through Jun Xuanji's blockade and traveled another 300 or 400 miles before tearing through space and flying toward the profound mysteries realm. Night Sorrow was a small target, and the 3 Sun Mountain ranges' weakened defenses couldn't stop him. After entering the 3 Sun City, Yishang swaggered down the streets. The teleportation array was heavily guarded, but no one checked Yishang's image as a rich young master. Those who knew Yishang were the upper echelons of the profound mysteries realm. How could the guards of the teleportation array know him? After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow teleported back to Profound Mysteries Imperial City. The Profound Mysteries Imperial City was currently being rebuilt. It was the number 1 city in the Profound Mysteries realm, so the Profound Mysteries realm naturally couldn't give it up. Night Sorrow exited the teleportation formation and killed the guards with a wave of his reincarnation spear. Next, he transferred everyone out of the space-time pagoda and removed the teleportation crystals from the teleportation formation. Last time, we destroyed the west side. We didn't destroy the east side. Now, we'll focus on the east side and kill all cultivators above rank 3. If there are any resources, we'll take them. Now, we'll split into 4 groups and return here in 1 hour, Yi Shan ordered. Next, Night Sorrow led Yun Tianlong, Tai Shu, and a portion of the God-slaying squad to the city lord's mansion for a second round of cleansing. There were no experts in Profound Mysteries Imperial City right now, so how could it withstand the attacks of the 9 regions' elites? Profound Mysteries Imperial City was once again ignited by the flames of war. Some shops and branches of major forces were being wiped out. Night Sorrow, Tai Shu, and the others easily killed the city lord's mansion's men and looted the resources before returning to the teleportation formation. Night Sorrow and the others waited for a while before the other 3 groups returned. Are there any injuries? If there are, enter my space-time pagoda to heal. Night Sorrow asked the leaders of the groups. After learning that there were no injuries and that they didn't consume too much energy, Night Sorrow took out a teleportation crystal from his waist and inserted it into the teleportation formation. Forget it. Teleport to wherever we go and kill. Worried that there would be danger, Night Sorrow sent everyone into the space-time pagoda and started the teleportation. After arriving at the new city, Night Sorrow took over the teleportation formation and removed the teleportation crystals. Then, he ordered everyone to split into several groups and fight. Night Sorrow led people to destroy the city lord's mansion and loot the resources. Tai Shu and Lu Qin directly stored them in the storage. Night Sorrow followed this strategy to destroy 3 cities. After destroying 3 cities, Jun Xuanji and the others received news that when Profound Mystery's imperial city was destroyed, someone flew to the mysterious Heaven Sword sect and teleported to 3 Sun City to report. Jun Xuanji smashed the tea table in the tent with a palm. Shang Luo sighed. He can tear space and travel through it. All of our seals are useless. Jun Xuanji said, right now, we can't defend. We can only attack to stop the attack. We can only pull the battlefront back to the 9 regions world. Otherwise, we won't be able to fight this war. Then everyone in the tent fell into contemplation. Xian Wenxiu said, now, we can either use all our strength to break the formation or use all our strength to stop them. However, the possibility of stopping them is very low. The final outcome of the discussion was to attack the spatial passageway again. Chapter 855. Yi Wuyo and Yu Qing led their people to guard the formation. When they saw the enemy coming to break the formation, the couple led their people to kill the enemy. Yi Wuyo didn't let them come out of the formation. They hid inside the formation and attacked the Profound Mysteries Realm's formation masters. After arranging the others, Yi Wuyo began to kill the enemy with Yu Qing's help. One of them was skilled in the Earth spatial bind, while the other was skilled in the spatial slaughter technique. Any formation master targeted by Yu Qing would be instantly killed by Yi Wuyo. The other paragons couldn't protect them even if they wanted to. Formation masters didn't have very high cultivation bases. After all, they spent most of their energy on studying formations. Their cultivation base increased slowly. There were many paragons in the Profound Mysteries realm, but they didn't dare to enter the formation to fight. They also couldn't break the formation from outside. This was the power of entropic formation masters. After attacking for more than an hour without any effect, someone came to report that 2 more cities in the Profound Mysteries realm had been captured. Jun Xuanji waved his hand helplessly. Grand Elder, we can't continue like this. We have to think of other methods. Xian Wenxiu nodded. He instantly aged a lot. He knew that they had lost this war. No blockade or defense was effective against Night Sorrow. It could be said that they had lost this war in the hands of Night Sorrow alone. After destroying the 4 cities, Night Sorrow put everyone into the spacetime pagoda and then teleported. However, there was no battle. He then teleported to another city and took down a courtyard outside the city. Only then did he let everyone out to rest. Night Sorrow, if this continues, the battle won't last long, the Grand Elder said as he brewed tea. What do you mean? Night Sorrow asked. 4 cities are destroyed in a day. How many cities do they have? It won't be long before they negotiate, Lu Qin said before the Grand Elder could speak. If they want to negotiate, then let them. I haven't killed enough, Yun Tianlong said. They were the ones who started the war. We can't just start a war because they want to. I have to fight until the Profound Mysteries realm is no longer a threat to the 9 regions world, Night Sorrow said. The Grand Elder and the others nodded. Now that Night Sorrow had spoken, they didn't need to discuss it. They would just follow his orders. After resting for a day, Night Sorrow led everyone to continue their slaughter, and they took down another 4 cities. Every time before a city was destroyed, Night Sorrow would first enter the city to scout before attacking. Therefore, Jun Xuanji and the others couldn't stop them. Even if they managed to block them, it would be a tough battle, and they wouldn't be able to do much to the 9 zones forces. Night Sorrow had brought the strongest group of people below the saint level in the 9 zones world, and they were the toughest fist of the 9 zones world. 3 days later, the Profound Mysteries realm couldn't hold on any longer. All the higher-ups gathered to discuss whether or not they should negotiate with the 9 zones world. If this continued, the Profound Mysteries realm would be completely destroyed. All the mid-level cultivators would be slaughtered, and their cities would be destroyed. The Profound Mysteries realm's civilization would plummet. Let's negotiate. If we can't keep Night Sorrow in check, we won't be able to win the war. Even if a saint attacks, they won't be able to succeed before the heavenly tribulation descends. His body's cultivation is too powerful, said Xian Wenxiu. The price of negotiating will be very high. They have the advantage, and if we can't satisfy them, the war won't stop, said Jun Xuanji. But there's nothing we can do about that. If we can't enter the spatial channel, the flames of war will continue to linger in the profound mysteries realm. We can only lose this war, said Shang Luo. Then I'll go talk to them. Jun Xuanji didn't want to negotiate. After all, this was a devastating blow to his reputation and the Jun family. Jun Xuanji teleported to the entrance of the spatial channel and directly requested to see Night Sorrow. Let's not beat around the bush. You clearly know that Night Sorrow isn't here, said Yibuyo as he walked out of the formation. I know. I'm representing the profound mysteries realm to negotiate with him. We should at least see him, said Jun Xuanji. Peace talks? You've lost, so you don't have the qualifications to talk about peace talks. Wait until you know your place. Yi Wuyo glanced at Jun Xuanji before directly entering the formation, ignoring him. Right now, the 9 regions world had the absolute advantage, and they had the absolute initiative. Jun Xuanji stood in front of the formation, looking at the spatial channel. He was filled with resentment because the profound mysteries realm had a chance to gain the upper hand. It was just that some people had failed to live up to expectations and had been hindered by the 9 zones world in the 3 origin region. As a result, they had been forced into a passive position. We'll do as you say. Our profound mysteries realm has lost. What conditions do you want before you can stop attacking and retreat? Jun Xuanji shouted into the formation. Then you can wait, replied Yi Wuyo. Yi Wuyo returned to the sage tent and reported to Long Xiansheng and the others. We can't let Night Sorrow return for now. If they set up an ambush on his way back, it'll be troublesome. They've lost, so they want us to make demands. We can make our demands first. The profound mysteries realm has to submit to the 9 zones world. We can't be disloyal to the 9 zones world, said Long Xiansheng. Then I'll go talk to him, said Yi Wuyo. Our sages can come out to negotiate. That won't count as interfering in the war. Have them wait in front of the formation, said Long Xiansheng. Then Yi Wuyo expressed the 9 zones world's intentions. Jun Xuanji nodded and called over the profound mysteries realm sages. The 2 sides faced each other outside the formation and began negotiating. Submit? That's impossible. If you want compensation, our profound mysteries realm can pay it. Even if we have to pay a huge price, we'll accept it, said Xian Wenxiu. Do you understand that you've lost? With the sage contract, the profound mysteries realm isn't a match for anyone below the saint realm. Even if you ignore the sage contract and attack, can you kill Night Sorrow before the laws kill you, said Long Xiansheng. You might have won, but you can't go so far as to submit, said Shang Luo. Why did you attack the 9 zones world? Isn't it to conquer the 9 zones world? You might not be able to do it, but we can, said Tianming Sheng. Chapter 4, Part 57. You don't force us to choose death over dishonor. A saint stepped forward and said. Then you can die in glory. We just want to deal with the problem of 2 zones in one go. If you don't submit, then we'll destroy you. Let's go. Long Xiansheng glanced at the profound mysteries realm's people before returning to the formation. Xuanji, try and see if you can stop their attacks, said Xian Wenxiu to Jun Xuanji. He didn't have any other ideas. Jun Xuanji nodded and left. Right now, she was hoping to stop Night Sorrow and the others. If Night Sorrow and the others didn't run, then she could fight to the death. But the chances of that happening were slim. Chapter 856. Following that, 3 more days of city-destroying battles passed. That's not right. According to this situation, the profound mysteries realm shouldn't be stubbornly holding on. They should be negotiating, Lu Qin said during another break. We don't care about that. We'll just kill them. If something really happens, the spatial passageway will notify us and will crush our messaging crystals, said the Grand Elder. It's still not painful. They'll naturally submit after the pain, said Yun Tianlong. Night Sorrow nodded. Everyone knew that. If they wanted the Profound Mysteries realm to submit, they had to beat them until they couldn't bear it. After everyone rested, Night Sorrow continued the city-destroying battles. It wasn't just the cities that were destroyed. Some sects and clans' territories were also attacked. The Profound Mysteries realm held on for 4 days. More than 10 cities were destroyed, and several sects were destroyed. Jun Xuanji's people didn't even see Night Sorrow's shadow. Accept the conditions. We have to accept any conditions, Xian Wenxiu sighed in the newly renovated City Lord's mansion. Grand Elder, if we accept the surrender, our Profound Mysteries realm will become a subsidiary, said Jun Xuanji. After the sage contract is signed, all of us sages will become decorations. You half-sages and invincible sovereigns won't be able to withstand their attacks, said Xian Wenxiu. Our half-sages and invincible sovereigns haven't lost yet. We haven't lost this war, said Jun Xuanji, somewhat unconvinced. If we haven't lost, they'll destroy the foundation of our Profound Mysteries realm first. They'll slaughter all the cities and mid-level cultivators and take away all our resources. Does the Profound Mysteries realm still have a future? What about the low-level cultivators? What about the future? Also, they don't want to fight us head-on. Once they destroy our foundation, they'll naturally deal with you half-sages and invincible sovereigns. Don't hold on. You're weaker than them. You won't be able to withstand it, said Xian Wenxiu. Hearing Xian Wenxiu's words, the other saints and invincible venerables nodded. They all had families and sections. If this continued, the forces behind them would be destroyed and uprooted. Saint Shang, what do you think? Xian Wenxiu looked at Shang Luo. What's done is done. If we fight head-on, our Profound Mysteries realm will be the ones to suffer. In reality, we were the ones who lost the battle and surrendered. We wanted to fight, so we will naturally bear the consequences of surrendering. I will give the Profound Mysteries realm an explanation, said Shang Luo. I think so too. Then it's decided. Xuanji, as your senior, I have something to say to you, Xian Wenxiu said as he looked at Jun Xuanji. Grand Elder Xian, please speak. Xuanji will definitely do as you say. Jun Xuanji's eyes darkened. Because defeat and submission were already a foregone conclusion, her insistence was useless. Xian Wenxiu looked at Jun Xuanji and said, I know that you have ideals and ambitions in your heart. The failure of this war is not because of you. The revival of the Profound Pavilion will need you. The revival of the Jun family will need you, and the Profound Mysteries realm will need you. So, the hatred in your heart is meaningless. Grand Elder, are you telling me to endure this humiliation to survive? If the Profound Mysteries realm surrenders, then I can only commit suicide as an apology, said Jun Xuanji. It's easy to die foolishly, but it's hard to stay alive. If we don't have half-saints and invincible sovereigns to help us govern the Profound Mysteries realm, then there's no need to talk. They can just kill us to the end. Moreover, as a person, you have to accept your fate and admit defeat. If you're not a match for others, then you have to face yourself. A loss is a loss. After surrendering, the future of the Profound Mysteries realm will still depend on us. Only if we're valuable will they value the Profound Mysteries realm, said Xian Wenxiu. Saint Xian is right. If we lose, they won't allow us to live. They'll definitely deal with the big threat. Both Saint Xian and I will accept this. The future of the Profound Mysteries realm will depend on you. It's hard for people to admit defeat, but a loss is a loss, said Shang Luo. We won't let you live, said Jun Xuanji as she stood up. Although she operated on the Tao of Might, she still respected Xian Wenxiu and Shang Luo. You're the commander of the 9 realms. You'll let the other side's peak saints live. That should be the first condition of surrendering. In addition, you'll also need to swear a heavenly Tao oath to the half-saints and invincible sovereigns. If you can break through to the 8th stage in the future, you'll be able to ignore the restrictions of the origin laws of ordinary worlds. Remember, as long as you're alive, you'll have a chance to turn things around, said Xian Wenxiu. Grand Elder Xian, Saint Shang, is this the result of our war? Asked Jun Xuanji somewhat emotionally. If we don't fight, we won't have a place to retreat. When the great calamity comes once every 10,000 years, we saints will still die. This time, we saints were selfish. We only started this war because we wanted a chance at survival. But now, we've brought danger to the profound mysteries realm. We accept this, said Xian Wenxiu. Jun Xuanji sighed. She understood that things had already come to this, and no one could change it. Even Xian Wenxiu and Shang Luo had made up their minds to die. The others could only follow the path of surrendering. Remember, live to fight for a chance for the people of the profound mysteries realm, even if it's just a chance for them to live a better life. Let's go. Shang Luo stood up and walked towards the teleportation formation. As a saint who had cultivated for countless years, his mind was incomparably firm. After making his decision, he was already indifferent to life and death. When they arrived in front of the teleportation formation, Xian Wenxiu and the others once again requested to meet. You've made your decision? Asked Long Xiansheng. Yes, we accept our defeat. We agree to your request. Let's stop fighting. Xian Wenxiu nodded. Then you won't ambush us, right? Asked Long Xiansheng. We admit defeat. Even if we lose, we won't lose face. We won't do anything without a reason, said Xian Wenxiu. Long Xiansheng nodded and had Yi Weio crush Night Sorrow's messaging crystal. Night Sorrow, who was about to continue massacring the city, was startled. He returned to the Spacetime Treasure Pagoda and reported that his messaging crystal had broken. It seems there's a result. They should have started negotiating, said the Grand Elder. I wonder what the result of the negotiation is, said Lu Qin. Q on Z-Net on EP Festival, since they crushed my messaging crystal, there must be news. We have to return. If we're not satisfied with the result, then we'll continue killing. Night Sorrow thought for a moment. He knew that no matter what the situation was, he had to return. After leaving the Spacetime Treasure Pagoda, Night Sorrow directly entered the city and began to teleport. After 2 teleportations, Night Sorrow arrived at Three Sun City. After passing through the Three Sun Mountain Ranges blockade, Night Sorrow flew towards the teleportation formation. He was still 200 kilometers away from the spatial passageway. To be safe, Night Sorrow used spatial rend and traveled through the spatial turbulence until he reached the edge of the array outside the spatial passageway. Chapter 857. He's the commander of the 9 regions. As for accepting your defeat, we still need to discuss it. Long Xiansheng said. I understand. We'll wait here. Xian Wenxiu nodded. His expression had calmed down. Men, set up a tent for the people of the profound mysteries realm to rest. Long Xiansheng ordered the high-level venerables behind him. Night Sorrow followed Long Xiansheng and the others to the command tent at the entrance of the spatial tunnel. Night Sorrow transferred everyone out of the pagoda of time and space. Long Xiansheng said that the attitude of the profound mysteries realm was not to negotiate. They would accept any request from the 9 regions world. First, we have to be bound by the heavenly Tao. We have to become a subordinate of the 9 regions world. The rest is easier to discuss. Night Sorrow said. You're right. The saints and venerables have to swear an oath to not harm the 9 regions world. They have to listen to the orders of the 9 regions world. Long Xiansheng said. That way, we'll have an extra helping hand in the upcoming massacre, Yishan said after a moment's thought. I feel like I'm raising a tiger. Nan Xiansheng said. With the heavenly Tao oath, there's nothing to be afraid of. Whether or not the Profound Mysteries realm can completely submit will depend on our governance. If we can't govern well and win the hearts of the people, we can only say that we're not capable. Night Sorrow smiled. Then you can just talk as you see fit. Xie Lanjun said. Q is the only one. W is the only one. W is the only one. W is the only one. I'll talk as I see fit. Night Sorrow looked at the group of saints in surprise. Of course. You're the commander of the 9 regions now. Naturally, you can make the decisions. We're just helping you fill in the gaps. The 9 regions need to establish a commander's residence to face the dangers of the netherworld. Long Xianqing said. All right, I'll talk as I see fit. If there's anything wrong, you can all add in. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and nodded. After leaving the formation, Night Sorrow saw a large tent. However, the people of the Profound Mysteries realm were waiting outside. Everyone, please. Night Sorrow entered the tent first and sat down in the middle of the left side. Long Xiansheng and the other saints sat beside Night Sorrow. Some of the 9 regions' sovereigns could only stand and listen. Xian Wenxiu and the others entered the large tent and stood in front of Night Sorrow and the others. They did not sit down, because their positions were not equal. Have a seat. Let's talk about it when we're fighting. Let's sit down and talk about it calmly. It's best if we can settle things peacefully. Night Sorrow gestured for them to sit down. Xian Wenxiu cupped his hands towards Night Sorrow and the others and sat down. At this time, he couldn't help but admire Night Sorrow's magnanimity. If it was Jun Xuanji, he definitely wouldn't have such magnanimity. This war was started by our Profound Mysteries realm. It's our fault. We're willing to bear all the consequences, Xian Wenxiu said. Sit down and talk. There's no need to find out who's right and who's wrong. The main thing is to solve the problem. Actually, by blocking the spatial channel, our 9 regions world can actually end the war. However, I feel that it's best to solve the future of the 2 worlds in one go. In other words, I don't want to have another war, Night Sorrow said. I can understand. Xian Wenxiu nodded. I've never done anything that's morally wrong. If we stop the war halfway, then the slaughter I cause will be morally wrong. If we can solve the problem of the 2 worlds in one go, then that's morally right. Naturally, I hope to be morally right. Night Sorrow repeated Long Xuanqing's words. Xian Wenxiu and Shang Luo nodded. First, let's talk about my attitude. First, I can't let the Profound Mysteries realm become a threat to the 9 regions world. Absolutely not. Don't say that I'm selfish. After all, I'm from the 9 regions world, said Night Sorrow. That's fine. As long as the 9 regions world can stop the war, as long as the 9 regions world treats the creatures of the Profound Mysteries realm well, our Profound Mysteries realm saints will settle things on their own. We won't be a threat, said Shang Luo. What's the point of settling things on their own? If you feel that you're in the wrong and that you've let down the creatures of the Profound Mysteries realm, then go and make up for it, said Night Sorrow. You're allowing our Profound Mysteries realm saints to live? Jun Xuanji directly stood up. Why not? I just said that as long as the Profound Mysteries realm doesn't become a threat to the 9 regions world, some things can be resolved. Don't be so petty, Yi Shang said as he glanced at Jun Xuanji. Please continue, said Xian Wenxiu. Then let's talk about our 9 regions world's request. In truth, this is also my idea. The Profound Mysteries realm saints and sovereigns need to swear an oath to the heavenly Tao that they won't harm the 9 regions world. When the 9 regions world needs them, they'll fight for the 9 regions world. Of course, there won't be a problem of cannon fodder. They'll fight side by side. That's my promise. When the Profound Mysteries realm is in danger, the 9 regions world will also do its best to help, said Night Sorrow. That's not a problem, said Xian Wenxiu. To put it bluntly, I want to form an alliance. However, with the 9 regions world as the main force, we'll also send people to govern the Profound Mysteries realm. Don't worry, we'll also implement a rule of virtue. We can keep the resources from this war to develop the profound mysteries realm, said Night Sorrow. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Xian Wenxiu and Shang Luo stood up and cupped their hands toward Night Sorrow. They hadn't expected Night Sorrow's attitude and conditions. They also hadn't expected Night Sorrow to be so magnanimous. I've already said what should be tolerated. However, the key points are the oath to the heavenly Tao and obeying orders. These 2 points can't be reduced in the slightest, said Night Sorrow. If we swear an oath to the heavenly Tao and obey orders, then we can't just be ordered around by someone from the 9 regions world, said Jun Xuanji. Night Sorrow turned to look at Long Xiansheng and the others. I've said all that should be said. Seniors, please make the final decision. As for how the 9 regions command will be issued, that's up to you. You said it very well just now. If a person has a heart, he has virtue, and if he has virtue, he has a heart. Only then will the relationship between the profound mysteries realm and the 9 regions world be stable. As for how the profound mysteries realm will issue the 9 regions command, I won't hide it from you. It's a chaotic world right now, and the 9 regions world might be facing a 10,000-year crisis. So, we've established a commander's residence, and the commander is Night Sorrow. For the profound mysteries realm, only the commander's residence's orders are effective, said Long Xiansheng. The 10,000-year crisis is the same for our profound mysteries realm. This war is actually for us to find a place to settle down. Xian Wenxiu looked at Long Xiansheng in surprise. Long Xiansheng was also stunned. So the situation is about the same. I don't know if you understand my explanation. If you do, then we'll set up the commander's residence and stabilize the profound mysteries realm. Understood. Then let's start with the heavenly Tao oath. Xian Wenxiu was very surprised by the current situation, but he naturally could accept it. Chapter 858. Originally, Xian Wenxiu, Shang Luo, and the other saints had thought that the 9 regions world wouldn't let them live because they were all peak cultivators and could be considered a potential threat. But now, the 9 regions world didn't make things too difficult for them. It could be said that the conditions weren't too difficult to accept. Following this, all the saints and sovereigns of the profound mysteries realm swore a heavenly Tao oath to not betray or harm the 9 regions world. Alright, let's arrange things. Night Sorrow, you're in charge, said Long Xiansheng. There's no need for me to do that, said Night Sorrow with a smile. Of course there's a need. You can give the orders, said Xia Lanjun with a smile. Night Sorrow looked around and thought for a moment before nodding. City Lord Grand Uncle will be in charge of the profound mysteries realm. City Lord Lu Qin and Monarch Yun will work together. Jun Xuanji, you'll assist. The Grand Uncles, Lu Qin and Yun Tianlong cupped their hands. Jun Xuanji also bowed. The issue of resources is that the 9 regions world has used up some resources in this war, but it's not a big problem. After we deal with the Western Nether region, we'll use the remaining resources to stabilize and recover the profound mysteries realm, said Night Sorrow. Understood. Grand Uncles nodded. There's one more thing. Many people in the profound mysteries realm might be hostile to the 9 regions world. In order to avoid unnecessary wars and losses, all venerables who have reached the peak of the 5th stage must be recorded. If they don't obey, kill them on the spot. It's good for both sides to get rid of the small hidden dangers. Yi Shan gave another order. I'll go back and arrange that. Stability is necessary, said Xian Wenxiu. Other than that, there's also the matter of communication between the 2 sides. Currently, the trend is towards cooperation, so there's no need for both sides to reject each other. The forces of the 9 regions world can develop in the profound mysteries realm, and the forces of the profound mysteries realm can also develop branches and sects in the 9 regions world. This way, their strength can recover and grow faster, Night Sorrow concluded after some thought. Everyone nodded. Night Sorrow's plan was very comprehensive. It could be said that his development strategy was correct. Then let's talk about the 9 regions commander's manner. Actually, it should be the 2 commanders' manners. It's related to maintaining order, said Xiaolongjun. 2 hours later, the commander's manner was completed. And night sorrow. But Yi and grand-uncles. Grand-uncles, but Yi had declined. He wanted to break was. Grand was. Grand elder. An elder, and grand elder as. Grand. The S set, too. T-S. It's meaningless. We can't really fight in the future, Xiaolongjun said. Grand elder Xia, you're talking about me. Grand Sage Xian told me that people have to admit defeat. Since I've lost, I'll accept it. I won't have any hatred, Jun Xuanji said. That's for the best. Let's do that, Long Xianqing said. After telling Yi Chen that he had something to do, he informed Yi Chen. Then, he led his men back to the city in the sky. Drinking tea, Night Sorrow let out a sigh of relief. The war is over. We can relax a bit. However, we still have to prepare for war. After the 9-domain world and profound mysteries realm stabilize, we'll take down the supreme river space and solve the problem of the netherworld. Yes. That's a hidden danger. We have to solve it, Xiaolongjun, who followed Night Sorrow to Sky City, said. In the following days, Night Sorrow stayed in Sky City and cultivated steadily. However, the others in the 9-domain world and profound mysteries realm were extremely busy. The 9-domain commander's manor was set up in the Grand Clarity domain. The current Qingtian domain was not as strong as before. The Grand Clarity domain was currently the strongest domain. Of course, the Eastern Xian domain was also very strong, but its location was not convenient. Night Sorrow did not care about anything, but the other 2 vice-commanders and elders were extremely busy. They constantly gave out orders. No one said that Night Sorrow had nothing to do. This was because these problems of construction and stability were small matters. When it came to big matters, Night Sorrow could handle it. Every day, apart from cultivating, Night Sorrow would go to the god-slaying squad's base to guide them in their cultivation. He would also give pointers to Yi Nianxiao. Tianyu and Yi Mei's cultivation increased rapidly, showing their extraordinary talent. In the blink of an eye, a month passed. Night Sorrow's myriad Dao Tome was not far from the peak of the 7th tier. The spiritual strength in his spirit sea was also growing more and more condensed. He was also very close to condensing a divine bead. The god-slaying squad now had a few more venerables. Under the pressure of Gao Chang and the other 2 venerables, Ma Zhuang and the others had also smoothly reached the 5th rank. In other words, the god-slaying squad no longer had any members below the 5th rank. On this day, Night Sorrow was drinking tea with Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei, Aoi, and Xue Shi when Xiaolongjun and Sky Underworld Sage came. This is your medallion. Xiaolongjun handed Night Sorrow a medallion made of violet gold crystal. What medallion is this? Night Sorrow took it and looked at it. The Commander's Medallion of the Commanding and Executing Realms. It's one of a kind, said Sky Underworld Sage with a smile. He had come to see how Guan Yi and Qin Jin were cultivating, as well as to see how Night Sorrow was doing. All right, I'll take it. Night Sorrow put the medallion into his spatial ring. Xiaolongjun then told Night Sorrow that the commander's mansion had officially begun operations. They had also established the commander's Iron Guard, which was made up of the various regions' elites. Is the profound mysteries realm doing well? Is there any resistance or rebellion? Asked Night Sorrow as he poured tea for Xiaolongjun and Sky Underworld Sage. Uj Cool ZF, no. Some of the 9 regions' powers are developing in the profound mysteries realm, and they've given many people a chance. They can only be grateful, said Xiaolongjun. We're encouraging the various large powers to enter the profound mysteries realm. Assimilation of spiritual civilization is the most basic method of governance. Let our Night Moon dynasty go as well, said Night Sorrow. We've already arranged for that. We've already set up a few branches, said Yu Qing with a smile. No one told me, Yi Shan said with a smile. If it's a small matter, no one will tell you. It's not like there's anything big right now, said Aoi. I have to say that Jun Xuanji really is a genius. He's very good at governing and managing. If it weren't for the fact that some people from the Profound Mysteries realm wanted to conquer the Western Nether region, we wouldn't have been able to fight this war, said Xiaolanjun. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood that Jun Xuanji was undoubtedly talented to be able to lead the Profound Mysteries realm. After sending off Xiaolanjun and the others, Night Sorrow took out the 1000 derivation killing formation and 1000 derivation illusory formations formation diagrams and began studying them. He planned on going to the Heaven's Ceiling Palace to take a look when he had time. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Love Stories YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.